Test. Is it working now? Can you hear me now? Is everything working? All right, well, we're gonna get to the list. I think it's working now. Well, we are on a tornado warning. Again, this is right now just off to the west of New York City. This is near Portland. It is currently moving off to the east. So again, this is currently moving east. It's producing ping pong ball sized tail along with a tornado threat. Let's hop over to the velocities as of right now. And again, there's been some rotation on this cell. It is currently just off to the east of Portland. Again, here there are winds going away from the radar. Here are the winds going towards the radar. And again, tornado warnings on going right along the interstate. That's Interstate 80 is where that ongoing area of rotation is. It was slightly stronger the latest scan, slightly weaker on the latest scan now, but what we got right now, again, this is right along Interstate 80. This is just off to the west again of New York City, so make sure you're seeking shelter immediately away from windows, interior of your house. Again, this is over in Portland, just off to the east of Portland now, going right along Interstate 80. I'm gonna see if we have some traffic cams in this area. And just for a reminder, this is right now in this is actually New Jersey, so that's kind of where we're at this point. All right, let me see if we got some radar sites on this or anything like that. Again, if you're just tuning in, by the way, make sure to hit the like button. It would help my page out a lot. But other than that, I'm going to try to get to the latest on this tornado warning. New Jersey, let's see. See if we have any cameras on this. Again, this is currently off to the west-northwest of Hackettstown. That's where the ongoing tornado warning is. Again, the storm's currently moving off to the east. We actually might have some cameras on this, so I'm going to take a look. Get an idea here. So this is near Interstate 80. May I guess a view right here. Let's see. Nope, nothing there. Okay, well, we'll keep you updated. I'm gonna try to look through everything. Welcome back, everybody, by the way. Hope everybody's doing well. Again, this is the ongoing tornado warning that we have right now. Again, this is west of New York City. So it's about at least 50 miles, I would say, from New York City. So it's not in the direct path, but this storm will be going that direction. But the ongoing tornado warning, again, is not going to reach there for a little while. Let me put a track in the storm so you can get an idea of where this is heading over the next several minutes. Again, this will be heading off to the west, or excuse me, the east. I don't know why I just said west. This will be heading off to the east, though. I'm going to put a little bit better of a track on this. We're going to put on this entire storm here. Kind of give you an idea of where this is heading. So here's the track as of right now. So those on the left side of your screen, you can take a look at where the timing is. But Patterson right around 6:54, East Orange 6:55, Irvington right around 6:56, Clifton 6:57, Newark right around 7 o'clock, Jersey City 7:08, New York City is going to be in just over an hour, so about 7:14, Yonkers right around 7:16, Mount Vernon 7:22, and New Rochelle right around 7:27. That's your timing again on this tornado warned cell right now. That is again very discreet. There's not really anything near this storm, so it has a good amount of at least inflow probably going to the storm right now. Again, here's your hail core as well, ping pong ball sized hail as possible with this cell. And as of right now, again, here's your rotation. It's right now right over Interstate 80. Rotation, again, on the last scan was slightly stronger, but right now it's still there. It's not by any means disappeared. It's still definitely there right now. It's near Interstate 80. It's really going right along Interstate 80 all the way probably to the east right now. Stanhope will be next on the track for this, as well as Hackettstown, the next locations. The areas on the left side of your screen are who's included in that tornado warning right now. So Hackettstown, Blairstown, as well as Hope, Andover, Great Meadows, Vienna, as well as Greendale, Long Valley, Columbia, Bud Lake, Portland, as well as I can't pronounce this other one, but those are all the areas included at this time in this tornado warning. If you're in this tornado warning, you should be seeking shelter immediately, again, away from windows and the lowest floor possible. As of right now, it's a radar indicated rotation. That's what we got going right now. I do have to change my, yeah, I do actually have to. Thank you. Did not realize that. I have to go check how many warnings we got, but this is the ongoing tornado warning as of right now. I believe this is the only tornado warning that we have. Yeah, it is. We had a few other storms having some rotation, but none of them are tornado warned at this point. This does, again, this is in Pennsylvania, really on the border of Pennsylvania, but it's now, the entire storm is into New Jersey, just for reference. We have a bunch of flash flood warnings right now. 3, 6, we have 10 flash flood warnings in the United States right now. Okay, so minus 14, that's about, we have about 24 severe thunderstorm warnings right now. So the warning count can go up to 24. Actually, no, we have 23. Never mind. We actually do have 23 warnings still. We have one tornado warning. So 24 total warnings as of right now. Again, this is the ongoing tornado warning. Again, this is heading right towards New York City. And again, low-end tornado threat does exist throughout the next couple of hours. So we're definitely going to see a possibility for maybe a tornado or two, maybe something brief. Let me go back over to the velocities. Let's take a look at that. And as of right now, the velocity is not really strong. There was a little bit more rotation before, but this is where that rotation is. If there were to be a tornado, it'd be located probably right along Interstate 80. That's where the rotation is as of right now. So that's kind of where we're looking again for maybe some rotation as this moves off to the east. Then there's a look at where my circle is in reference to the storm. So this is likely not a rain wrap situation. This is again moving off to the east. Yeah, there's been rotation with several storms. None of them are that strong in comparison to this one. This one is actually starting to broaden out a little bit, though. And here's the latest scan. The storm looks like it's trying to organize itself a little bit more. We definitely have ping pong ball sized tail, though, possibly up there, just off to the north of Interstate 80, maybe even right along the interstate, possibly some quarter sized tail. And the latest velocity scan showing some pretty strong winds right here. Probably at least 60 to 70 mile per hour downburst winds right now near Interstate 80, northwest of Hackettstown. And again, they'll be moving off to the east over the next several minutes. And that's where we have the strongest downburst winds as of right now. And we also have a new severe thunderstorm warning, which just, oh wait, no, that's actually been ongoing. So this severe thunderstorm warning is still ongoing, but the main threat at this point, again, is that tornado warning. It's again moving off to the east as of right now. So again, make sure you're seeking shelter away from windows lowest floor possible. Again, this will be tracking off to the east towards Stanhope and Bud Lake and Hackettstown over the next several minutes. Hackettstown may be on the southern end of this storm, but it looks like the overall rotation's really been sticking right along Interstate 80 for the last several minutes. I changed my title. So many warnings. There's a lot of warnings right now. Yes, Dink, I will get to the other states here pretty soon. Usually when there's a tornado warning, we primarily focus on that, and then we'll go from on other things from there. Welcome back, Scorpion. Let me go back over to the... if we have any live cams in this area. Not sure if we really have anything over here. It's Interstate 80. Pretty sure we don't have a whole lot here. And yeah, we actually don't. So we don't really have any cams in this area, but we will keep you updated if we have any sort of photos or anything like that on Twitter. I'm going to take a look if we have anything on Twitter as of now in terms of this storm. The storm's currently moving off to the east, going basically towards areas near... actually, this storm is going directly toward New York City, just for reference. Will definitely be something to watch pretty closely. As of right now, tornado warning just got condensed. It's now up to golf ball size tail in the latest update. So just for reference, the hail size has increased. The tornado threat is still there with this storm right now. Taking a look at some of the reports as of right now. We do not have any confirmation. Again, this is radar indicated, but it's right along the interstate. That's really where the rotation's been on this storm. So, I mean, if there were to be a tornado, we'd probably get confirmation pretty quickly, I would assume. Interstate 80 is pretty busy too, especially during this time of the evening. It's 6 o'clock, so... definitely gonna be a pretty busy commute. Latest scans, by the way, still showing a little bit of rotation. It's a little bit broad. It's not that strong, but had a little bit of stronger rotation. Again, when I really first came on live, it was a little bit stronger. It's slightly broader now, which is, again, good news. But overall, still something to be concerned about if you're near Stanhope. Bud Lake, for example, just make sure you're getting to your shelter spot or getting ready at least. If you're on that warning, just kind of get ready because this storm's heading off that direction. And we very well may get a new tornado warning if the rotation does strengthen at all. And again, we have several other storms to get to as well. We'll get to those here pretty soon. We're primarily going to be focused on this tornado warning for right now. This tornado warning is currently in New Jersey. And it's actually west of New York City right now. That's where it is. Storm's currently moving off to the east right now. Again, if you're just tuning in, make sure to hit the like button. It helps this video get out to more people that are in this tornado warning. So if you hit the like button, it might help that. I think. I don't know. Maybe YouTube works like that. That's kind of what we're looking at as of right now. Again, strongest winds are currently going towards the radar, and going away from the radar, the winds are not nearly as strong. We do have a counterclockwise spin here overall, but again, the rotation is definitely still broad. It was a little bit stronger, again, as I mentioned before, closer to Portland. It's a little bit broader in the latest scans. We'll still have to watch it closely. You never know. It might redevelop. It's a very defined storm. It's, again, discrete, so any of these discrete cells that we see tonight will have the best probability of producing potentially a tornado threat as well. Yes, Scorpion, I did, unfortunately, but we are back. I'm glad we are back right now because obviously there is a tornado warning. I'm not seeing a whole lot of rotation on the whatever the storm you're talking about over in Massachusetts. Hey Vicky, how you doing? Welcome back. This specifically is not rain wrapped. The rotation. Rotation's definitely not rain wrapped in this situation. We are up to 25 warnings now, so let's up that to 2. Again, this storm's moving off to the east. Again, tornado warning ongoing. This is again just off to the west of Stanhope. Make sure you're seeking shelter immediately, again, away from windows. There's also an entire line of storms right now that's over Manchester, New Hampshire, going all the way back up to the north into southwestern Maine. So we got a lot of ongoing storms as of right now. Again, along with all these storms, this is again our main tornado warning though as of right now. This is again producing golf ball sized hail moving off to the east. It will be moving towards areas like Morristown eventually, and that will be probably in the long term. Obviously, long term, this is going to probably go towards New York City and Yonkers, those areas. So, again, much more populated areas back out to the east of this storm, and it's a discrete cell. So, if it can maintain really what it's looking like right now, we very well could see it reach New York City. Obviously, I don't think it'll produce much of a tornado threat by then, but you can't rule it out. It's definitely not out of the question. It's definitely not out of the things of possibilities to this point. But latest scans are showing much broader rotation. I would be surprised if we get a new tornado warning on this, but we'll still keep it in mind just in case something does develop. We'll keep an eye on it because it has a pretty decent shape to it. It has definitely some hail, by the way. I mean, there's a very prominent hail core now over Interstate 80, again, west of Stanhope. So anyone right along Interstate 80, I know a lot of truck drivers might be in this area. Just make sure you're taking it slow and make sure you're aware of this storm. It is traveling literally right along the interstate up until really the Interstate 80 and 287 junction there, and then it'll eventually continue to move off probably to the east-southeast, trying to probably go towards maybe Union City, Fort Lee, and New York City within the next couple of hours. That's my thought at this point, where this will really direct itself to over the next couple of hours. We'll still keep you updated with the latest, see if anything does happen with this tornado warning. As of right now, tornado warning is still ongoing for another 10 minutes, but as of right now, warning's still going. It's not been canceled by any means. Some pretty strong damaging winds right now over in Springfield, Massachusetts, and northern Connecticut as well. We'll get to those in just a second. Have a lot of severe weather ongoing. We're going to try to get to every one of the storms that we have on the radar now in just a little bit once this tornado warning gets lifted. Just in case, we're going to keep an eye on it. By the way, we do have a new mesoscale discussion for Colorado. That does go for the potential for maybe a couple of isolated strong to maybe isolated severe storms over the next few hours. We do have a new mesoscale discussion for New England that is just coming in, so we'll get an update on that here in a moment. But that just got issued for really almost everywhere in New England, excluding Vermont. So we'll get an update on that here in a second. This tornado warning is not near Maryland, but Maryland I don't think is it's primarily just damaging winds down that way right now. Yeah, we'll go over the other storms here pretty soon. Waiting until this tornado warning kind of expires or continues to go. We'll have to wait and see what happens here. I believe the warning might have been canceled. Let me take a check. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that just got issued. The tornado warning is still showing up on my end. Has not been canceled yet, but there is a new severe thunderstorm warning that just got issued. Tornado possible label is still on this. This does include areas like Morristown, Dover, Madison, and as well as a lot of the other areas on the left side of your screen, Morris Plains, for example. All those areas included for the potential for damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour and golf ball sized hail. And again, this cell will be moving probably towards New York City. So if you know anybody in New York City, or Yonkers, for example, make sure that they are aware of this storm. Make sure that they are starting to get their proper precautions in place. Again, this is a pretty severe storm as of right now that's, again, moving off to the east. And, again, tornado warning is still ongoing for another 8 minutes. We'll see if it gets canceled or not. As of now, it is still going, but we'll see if it gets canceled or not. Hey, Reef, how you doing? Welcome back. Thank you, Trekker, for subscribing. Appreciate it. There's a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings as of right now, and again, we'll get to those in a second. Again, new warning just got issued for golf ball sized hail and damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour out in front of this storm. The overall rotation, again, has been broadening out, which is, again, very good news on this cell, but definitely can't rule out that it does redevelop down in the future, because, again, it is a very discrete cell, and when we have discrete cells like this, they very well can redevelop, especially in this sort of environment that we have. Again, low-level jet is there today. We have some low-level shear. Definitely could maybe see the spin up a little bit again, but as of right now, tornado warning is still ongoing. And west of New York City, about 50 miles from New York City right now. Hey, Brian, how you doing? Welcome. Again, new severe thunderstorm warning got issued. Tornado warning still ongoing for those in Andover and Hackettstown. Just make sure you're still in shelter until the warning gets lifted. As of now, the tornado warning is still ongoing for another 7 minutes. Again, the storm is still here. We're still seeing golf ball sized hail here just west of Stanhope, right along the interstate. Again, the Interstate 80, if you know anybody along this area, if they're traveling or they're truck drivers, something like that, just make sure they're aware of this. Again, very significant hailstone sizes falling with this area, and we very well might see some car damage for those that are along the interstate right now. Dew point is 70. Yeah, it's humid out there. It's not just humid, but it's really hot too. Hey, Mikhail, how you doing? I don't know how to pronounce your name. Welcome. How you doing today? Welcome on in. Again, for those that are in this storm, this will be going towards New York City here pretty soon. Actually, the area here, the peninsula here off New York, is actually currently not in the watch. New York City is in the severe thunderstorm watch, though. Again, this storm will be going in that direction, and this storm's really tracking in that direction. As of right now, the estimated time of arrival for New York City will be about 7:15 Eastern time. So that's kind of what we're seeing as of right now. I've seen it. I'm pretty sure there was a tornado warning in New York City a few years ago. I can't remember what year, but there was actually a tornado warning, I'm pretty sure, a few years ago in New York City. I don't think there was a tornado, but there was definitely very strong winds. I might be wrong on that, but I think there was. We actually have a couple of severe storms over in Arkansas too. We got a lot of severe weather. Yeah, once this tornado warning does get lifted, we will go ahead and take a look at those. Again, this is the ongoing tornado warning right now west of Stanhope. Make sure you're seeking shelter. Again, just stay in shelter just in case. And as of right now, rotations remain very broad, but we definitely could see it maybe redevelop in the future. And latest scan kind of really showing the storm's not really nearly as pronounced as before, but we're still seeing that large hail threat along Interstate 80, possibly around ping pong ball sized hail now. Let's go and take a look at the hailstone sizes right now with this storm. Let's see what's estimating on radar. Give us an idea of what we're looking at. And as of actually, it's interesting, the radar is only estimating basically right around maybe quarter size. But the storm is warned for up to ping pong or actually up to golf ball size right now. I definitely can't rule out it's a little bit larger than that. Near Portland, it was a little bit larger, but definitely can't rule out it's a little bit larger than that. Not another question at this point, but as of right now, again, rotation's really broadened out. Let's see if the warning's gotten canceled yet. Warning's still ongoing for another 5 minutes. I do think the main threat from here on out with this storm will probably be the large hail component, maybe some damaging winds. And again, that'll be moving towards areas like New York City eventually, so that'll be an area to watch very closely. Hey, Gene, how you doing? Welcome back. And also, that's just north of Long Valley, by the way. And just to give you an idea of what's happening right now, we have significant severe weather going. And even near Baltimore, for example, we have dozens of damage reports. I'm going to get to all of those as well in this live stream. We have a dozen damage reports up here, too, up in Massachusetts and even New York now. And there's just a lot to get to. We have so many severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing. There's going to be a lot to be really monitoring over the next several hours as these storms continue to push off to the east. A lot of dangerous storms. So we're going to kind of keep you in the loop with everything that's going right now and really for the rest of this evening. So if you're just tuning in, make sure to hit the subscribe button. If you have any questions, again, feel free to leave those in the chat during the live stream. I'll try to get to as many as I can, but we're going to continue to cover this storm for the next couple of minutes until the warning gets lifted. Again, the severe thunderstorm warning was issued out in front of that tornado warning now, so that's going to replace the tornado warning that's ongoing. This is going to be for that threat of damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour, and as well as that potential for some golf ball sized hail. And again, this storm will be heading toward New York City and eventually toward Yonkers within the next hour or two. If it can survive, it very well could pose that threat for large hail and even damaging winds. So we're going to really have to monitor this storm very closely as it does move off to the east. And by the way, if you're just tuning in, make sure the like button, excuse me. We're only 9 likes away from 50, so make sure to the like button if you're enjoying the stream so far. I would appreciate it. I have no clue if there's gonna be severe weather in Canada. I don't cover Canada weather at all, but I couldn't tell you. You have to look at your own National Weather Service or whatever you got up there. I honestly, I've never really looked at Canada weather, so we only usually do United States stuff. I can tell you, though, I don't think there's going to be much severe weather for the next couple of days anywhere. And that would probably include Canada. But I could be wrong. All right, tornado warning has been canceled. So we are done with this tornado warning for now, which is at least good news. We're going to go to the other severe thunderstorm warnings because we have a load of severe thunderstorm warnings to get to. And we have a lot of damage reports to also get to as well. And I was actually on the... Okay, I was actually on the right screen. Okay, there we go. So we're going to get to some of the severe thunderstorm warnings. There's a lot of severe weather ongoing as of right now. Let's go up to the... let's go from north to south. We'll go from north to south for right now, and then we'll go, obviously, from north to south. So this is the first warning we got ongoing up here in Maine. This is near North Windham. This is producing damaging winds around 60 miles miles per hour. That is currently moving off to the northeast. We also got a whole basically line of storms moving through areas like Manchester right now and Raymond. That'll be going to Rockingham County, going toward Windham, as well as Nashua and Derry over the next really over the next 15 to 20 minutes. This line is going to be moving down to the south and east. This is posing the threat for quarter-sized hail as well as damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour. Again, that's tracking down to the southeast as of right now. Haverhill will also be in the track of that. And this is just another view from this radar site. Might look a little bit better here. Yeah, you can kind of see the line much more defined here, but you can see larger hail right now near Manchester, for example, possibly quarter size. There also might be a little bit up there near Dover in terms of that large hail threat. Again, damaging winds expected as that moves down to the south and east. Here's a look at the ongoing severe weather over in a bit more populated areas, over in areas just west of Worcester, and as well as areas in Connecticut right now, north of Hartford. This is currently producing damaging winds around 60 miles per hour, and as well as the potential for quarter-sized hail. This storm right now over Windsor Locks and as well as near Thompsonville. The area right now of where we have hail is right there along Interstate 91. So we're seeing more hail right there. That's again moving off to the east as of right now. Definitely another area to watch very closely for some large hail over the next several minutes. Another area of severe weather ongoing back out here near Southbridge, or it's going towards Southbridge as well as Warren and Holland. It's currently over Palmer. This is producing the potential for some damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour, as well as maybe some quarter-sized hail. Again, that hail threat is really pronounced in this area here, so near Palmer and just south of Interstate 90. So that's where we got the main threat of hail right now, again up here in Massachusetts. So this will all be tracking off to the east. Let's go to some of these damage reports real quick in this area. So we had trees down on Mountain View Street. That's over in Hampshire County over in Massachusetts. And we also have in Blandford a tree down on Blair Road, and also back out to the west of Springfield there was 2 trees down on Parker Street, and we also had a tree down on wires actually near 50 block of College Highway South. So we actually have had some power outages, it looks like northwest of Windsor Locks. And there's also trees and wires down on US 44. So those are the reports we have so far out of those areas. Again, there is no severe thunderstorm watch right now in Massachusetts, which I'm a little bit surprised by, but we will still have severe weather ongoing for those areas over the next several minutes and probably for the next hour or two as those goes towards areas like Providence and maybe even Brockton. They might make it toward the Cape Cod area. I do think they'll weaken though before they actually get to Cape Cod specifically. Another severe thunderstorm warning back out to the west of this. This is near West Hurley. This is moving off to the east. Kingston as well as Tilson will be in the track of this storm. Damaging winds as well up to 60 miles per hour and quarter-sized hail will be possible here. There is a tree down on a roadway over in Cooks Falls, so that's a ongoing warning. We have a lot more damage reports up this way. Let me get to a few of these as well while we're up here. And we have a few. So we have multiple trees down throughout Greene County, so near Cario. We also have multiple trees down, time estimated by radar, over in Valety. Valety, I don't know if I'm saying the name right, but that's over south of Albany. And also we have another area of a parkway closed just north of exit 102 over in Chatham. So that was also from a storm possibly earlier. That was about 2 hours ago, maybe changed by now. Multiple trees down also in Tanglewood in western Massachusetts. So those are a few other reports that we've seen so far. And as I mentioned before, we do have a ongoing significant severe weather warning going currently near areas near Rockaway, west of New York City. This is producing up to golf ball sized hail and damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour. Let me just change my title. I forgot to change it. But this storm was, again, previously tornado warned. It still has that tornado possible label on it. It may try to rotate a little bit, so watch the storm pretty closely. But as of right now, the warning actually just got downgraded to ping pong ball sized hail. Still pretty significant hail there. Right along Interstate 80. So if you know anybody along Interstate 80 there west of New York City, make sure that they are taking those proper precautions as that storm heads off to the east. We got more severe weather ongoing south of Baltimore. There is some significant severe weather actually going down here. Damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour is currently possible over in Bowie as well as Laurel and Severna Park. Maybe, hopefully I'm saying the name right, but those areas are included for the potential for damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour as that moves off to the east-southeast. So definitely another area to watch very closely. Also, just to the east of now Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is already seeing their severe weather for tonight. Overall, that's going to be tapering down now, but this is going off to the coastline now, going toward Chesapeake Beach. Mayo, Mitchellville are all included in this area for the potential for damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour and quarter-sized hail. And that line continues to move down over to the south and west of that. This is all pretty much a strong storms throughout areas southwest of Washington. Now, we do have some damage reports over here as well. There are several trees down reported over at a residence or over in Chantilly. And there's also trees down over in Arcola, and there's also several large tree limbs down over in Countryside. And we also had a 61 mile per hour wind gust at the Belize International Airport. Saying that right, I might not be saying that name right, but that's over there as well. We also had about at least a dozen damage reports over here. I'm assuming a lot of these were trees up in northern Maryland. And what I'm seeing so far, a lot of trees and numerous trees and power lines down for the most part as of right now with all of these areas. So trees down, trees down. I'm seeing a lot of trees down. Also quarter-sized hail is reported in there. That is from the area of storms now in southern New Jersey, by the way. And we also had a 62-mile-per-hour wind gust, 58, 64 was our probably highest, I would assume, 59 also over at northeast. So those are our damage reports and also our wind reports so far with this area of storms. We have another severe thunderstorm warning that literally, I think, just got issued. This is currently over in Warrenton and northwest of Remington. This is for damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour and as well as quarter-sized hail. That is moving off to the east as of right now. So another new area to watch for maybe a couple of isolated storms with some damaging wind gusts. Another cell right now over near Timberville and Harrisonburg that's producing damaging winds up to 60 and as well as quarter-sized hail. Quarter-sized hail is reported over in Harmony at 424. That was about 2 hours ago. That also occurred. We have some storms now over into West Virginia, entering into Virginia here pretty soon. These are going to be producing damaging winds up to 60 as well as up to ping pong ball sized hail. And we actually have a pretty significant storm up here near Lewisburg that's producing ping pong ball sized hail. And that honestly looks larger than ping pong ball sized hail. But there's definitely some large hail with this storm near Interstate 64. That is currently moving off to the east southeast as of right now. So another storm to watch very closely as it heads off that direction. We also have a flash flood warning in effect for Charleston. All right, back down here to the southwest. I know there's a lot of warnings. We're trying to get to all of them. Again, I'll answer questions here pretty shortly. This is a look at the warnings over in extreme southern portions of Kentucky, also into northern portions of Tennessee. These are producing damaging winds around 60 miles per hour, and as well as that potential for up to quarter-sized hail. These, again, are moving all down to the south and southeast. We have another warning back out here to the east of Nashville right now. This is producing damaging winds around 60 miles per hour and nickel-sized hail near Watertown, Gordonsville, as well as Carthage. Those areas included for that potential for damaging winds around 60 and nickel-sized hail. A little strong storm right now that's off to the southwest of that. That's near Waterhill right now, and that'll be moving down to the southeast. A couple more warnings out over in portions of Arkansas right now. This is an ongoing area for damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour and quarter-sized hail. This is going down to the south and east near Searcy as well as near Latona. Those areas, again, seeing that potential for maybe a little bit of low-end severe weather threats. And there was also a funnel cloud apparently reported not too long ago over at St. Augustine. So that's actually over in Florida. So we actually had a little report of a funnel cloud over there. And also a couple more warnings over in Colorado right now. These are producing some damaging wind gusts up to 60. I'll get to these real quick. These are producing right now 60 mile per hour winds over in areas near Pablo, if I'm saying that right, north of Colorado City. This storm is again right along Interstate 25, and it's pretty stationary right now. I think most of these storms will be fairly stationary. We also got one over in extreme northern portions of Colorado producing the same threats of damaging winds around 60 miles per hour, and as well as quarter-sized hail near Interstate 25. So that's what we got going as of right now with these storms. Radar's going to take probably a few seconds here to load. Here's a look at us right now. So pretty potent storm here too. This is definitely some quarter-sized hail, especially for Colorado, and as well as maybe some potentially some damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour. So that's what we got for severe thunderstorm warnings as of right now. And actually, we have more up here. We're going to get to this one real quick. So there's actually one up in Minnesota. Just cover this real quick. This is ongoing for damaging winds around 60 and as well as quarter-sized hail. Basically, all the storms are producing that for the most part. This one's near Randall as of right now and west of Fort Ripley. That is moving down to the southeast. And again, low-end chances of severe weather will exist over in this area in Minnesota and Wisconsin over the next few hours. So we'll have to watch that area as well pretty closely. And I believe I got to that warning, right? Okay. That's what we got as of right now. A lot of warnings. And we are getting a lot more damage reports as well over in Massachusetts and Connecticut. So we're actually really anywhere near Springfield. We're getting a lot of trees down and stuff like that with this line of storms, which again is producing some pretty significant severe weather. So this is our main area of storms, it seems like right now, at least in terms of population. There's a lot more people in this area. All right, I'll take a quick breath real quick. If you have any questions, feel free to leave those in the chat. And again, if you're just tuning in, make sure to hit the like button. We are 30 likes away from 100, so I would appreciate the like button. All right. Yeah, shelf cloud was in Washington, D.C. That would make sense. I would definitely believe that. Thank you, Joe, Robert, and Aaliyah for subscribing, guys. I appreciate it. Power outages over in Hartford County? Really? Huh, that's interesting. All right, I'm going to be behind on chat here for a second. Yes, tornado warning is over. Yes, sorry. I had to change the title. Hey, Lizard, how you doing? Welcome back. Hey, Roy, how you doing? Welcome back as well. Hope you guys are doing well. Thanks, Gary. I appreciate it. Got my power back here in Delaware. There you go. It's good news. Oh, tornado warning. Oh, thank you. Sorry. Remove that. I've never used it, Larry. Heard some good things about it, though. Elite, I would recommend something like Radar Scope if you want to pay for an app, or My Radar. Those are my two recommendations. Yeah, I've yet to try Radar Omega 2, Roy. I haven't tried it either. Yeah, shelf clouds are pretty cool to see. But just to get some of these damage reports, we have a few new ones that I didn't mention already. We have tree down blocking Tennyson Road, or Tennyson Drive. I'm probably not saying that right, but that's near Long Meadow. That's just south of Springfield. We also have a large tree down on Bailey Road. We also have a tree down on Dwight Road. And we also have a tree down at 80 block of Parker Street. So we have a lot of trees down. Obviously, these storms are producing damaging winds around 60 miles per hour. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Obviously, that threat is going to be the most prominent. Let me put a little timing guide on this area of storms, give you an idea of where this is going to be heading over the next several minutes. Give you an idea of where you could be expecting these storms to go. And here's a look at the timing guide. So they will be off the coast most likely around 8 o'clock tonight. But here's a look at the timing. So Worcester right around 6:40. Framingham right around 7:05. Pentucket right around 7:17. Cranston right around 7:18. Providence 7:19. East Providence 7:21. Quincy 7:34. Brockton 7:35. Taunton right around 7:35 as well. And Weymouth right around 7:38. That's your timing there. And eventually, again, it'll be off the coast probably somewhere between 7:55 to 8:05 tonight. Boston, if you see anything, if you hear rumbles of thunder, it'll be there probably right around 7 to 7:30. That's kind of your projected time, at least of hearing some thunder and maybe seeing a little bit of lightning over that direction as well over there in the city. So it's kind of what we're looking at as of right now. Again, our main hail core right now at this area of storms is actually now down here. That's just west of Stafford Springs in Connecticut. So we're definitely seeing some hail with this as well. Thanks, Pope, for subscribing. I appreciate it. Yeah, there's a tropical disturbance right off the coast of Louisiana. We'll have to be watching that pretty closely as well. That'll probably be my primary focus over the next few days, is that specifically, because again, that's going to pose that pretty significant flooding threat to areas really right along the Gulf Coast. And again, if you want more details on that tropical system, make sure to check out our latest video. It has more details on it. Thank you, Carrie. Was expected for southeast Pennsylvania. I mean, if you see anything, it's damaging winds, possibly some large hail, but I don't think you're going to see much more tonight. I think most of the storm activity has moved out of your region. Yeah, it has. So overall, I don't think you'll see much more tonight. That goes with Pittsburgh, too. If you haven't seen anything, you probably won't see much more tonight. Most of the storms are out to your south and east now. Yeah, Roy, you should look at the Texas forecast. This is over in North Texas. That's not North Texas, never mind. There's a North Texas forecast. For North Texas specifically, it's going to be in the hundreds for the next 7 days, and it has been for the last, 5 days, at least. So, yeah. Hey, Aiden, how you doing? And again, this is the storms over in Massachusetts as of right now. If you have questions on any other storms, feel free to let me know in chat. This is the ongoing storm, though, over in Manchester and Raymond as well. This one's moving down to the south and east. And that's actually producing the potential for some damaging winds up to 60, and as well as maybe some quarter-sized hail. We do have a little, not really any rotation per se. This is more outflow driven right now, but the strongest winds seem to actually be near Manchester as of right now. Right there, basically just southeast of Manchester near Interstate 293 and 93. So we have a little bit more of the stronger winds currently embedded with this area. And again, it's outflow driven, so the tornado threat with that will be fairly low. And really same goes for this area. I mean, I don't expect any tornado warnings on this either. Definitely can't rule it out, but I do think the overall threat in these areas will be pretty low tonight. If there were to be any tornado threat for the rest of this evening, it would really exist anywhere where there's any discrete cells up and down the East Coast. That's kind of what we're looking for at this point in terms of a tornado threat tonight. Welcome back, Moxie. Thanks, Paul, for the $2 super chat. I appreciate it. Roy is my hero. I don't know who Roy is, but I appreciate you. The $2 super chat. Thank you, thank you. Hey, Becca, how you doing? Welcome back. Go back over to the hail radar here. Let's take a look at the hail. Curious to see, because there's that little area there showing up maybe some large hail. And yeah, there is some quarter-sized hail that's possibly falling near Windsor Locks and Broad Brook. So there actually may have been a little bit of quarter-sized hail. Again, red's indicating that quarter-sized hailstone here. So you can kind of see maybe some quarter or maybe even up to $half sized hail near those areas near Interstate 91. So there may have even been a little bit of large hail. But overall, I think it's pretty minimal in those areas. Let's fill my water real quick. Yeah, it's interesting. Definitely an interesting. I love this tool too. I love I love looking at this hail tool because it does really give you a good indication of what the hail might be out there. It's not always 100% accurate, but it is very close typically. So I do enjoy using this tool. It does help kind of determine that sort of stuff. Let me back over to the Just look at the velocities again, and I'm not seeing a whole lot of strong winds with this. Now, it is a little bowing area, so we definitely could maybe be seeing some damaging winds. But overall, at this point, I don't see a whole lot of damaging winds. I do see a little bit more of a hail threat right now with this area of storms. You're in a special weather statement? Yeah, special weather statements are usually just gusty winds or maybe some small hail. Hey, Karen, how you doing? Massachusetts, nice. Yeah, there's interesting velocities up here. I know it looks like rotation. It's not, though. But there is... it's an outflow-driven storm, but we do have a little bit of hail possibly near Manchester. Overall, it's just outflow-driven, and tornado threat's not going to really exist with this. There is definitely some strong winds, though. I mean, if you look at the velocities on this, yeah, it does look pretty strong. Let me go over to the other radar site real quick. I don't think there's going to be anything, but... the other radar site. Is it far up here? Right here, okay. Take a look at it real quick. If you look from the other radar site, for example, I'm pretty sure it doesn't really show nearly as much. And yeah, you can kind of see it's not really there anymore, but it's over in Manchester. Now, they'll be moving down to the south. That will actually be going through a good amount of Rockingham County. They're going through Hampton and stuff like that. Thank you, Gamer, for the $2 super chat. I choose not to answer that question, but I appreciate you with the $2 super chat. Any chance you could look at Kentucky storm to see if there's any impact to Greenville, Tennessee? Sure. Go down there. You're talking about the one in Kentucky? Are you talking about this line right here? Near Middlesbrough, or Middlesboro? Because this area is right now moving down to the south and east right now. Pretty decent looking area. I mean, it's primarily just going to be damaging winds maybe, and maybe a little bit of quarter-sized hail. I don't really see a whole lot of hail in this, but I would definitely expect maybe some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, possibly in the strongest downbursts. And again, it'll be moving down to the south and east. That's kind of what we're looking at right now. But overall, there's actually a bit more of a pronounced area of storms over here near Livingston, Gainsborough. Those storms may produce some 60-mile-per-hour winds as well eventually. But overall, main threat anywhere in Tennessee will be 60-mile-per-hour winds. Hey, J-Luck, how you doing? Welcome back. This is the other warning, by the way, over in Lewisburg. This is actually a pretty pronounced area of storms right now. This is a pretty significant hail as well. Possibly a little bit of ping pong ball sized hail there near Interstate 64. That's moving off to the east near White Sulphur Springs will be next in track of this area. So another area to watch for maybe some severe weather tonight as well. Nashville's pretty much done for tonight. If you're east or south of Nashville, you might see some storms, though. There is a severe thunderstorm warning just east of Nashville. That's what we got going as of right now. New mesoscale discussion that just came out, I believe. Yeah, it came out only 20 minutes ago. 50 to 70 mile per hour winds may be possible over the next hour or so over in Chesapeake Bay. So that's over in Delaware, Maryland, that area. So we have a new little mesoscale discussion over there. No problem, Charlie. Here's a look at the velocities, by the way. We definitely have some strong winds here. You can see the overall strong winds here. There's definitely some stronger winds overall. Let me go over the velocities. Oops. You can see it here. Again, near Lewisburg, that's kind of where we have the highest winds, maybe around 60 miles per hour. And here's a look at the live radar. Hail core right now is basically near 64. And again, it's moving out to the east. Lewisburg, Hinton, White Sulphur Springs, and Alderson, as well as Rupert. Those areas are included in this area of potentially some severe weather. Let's take a look at the hail radar to give you an idea of what the hailstone size may be. It's warned for ping pong ball size. And the latest scans do show as high as golf ball size. So we definitely could see some large hail out of this. And it definitely looks like it has some large hail. I mean, by the black color there represented on radar, it's definitely going to be some larger hail. Now, the overall hail threat does not extend through this entire warning. It's primarily just that area near Interstate 64. So that's kind of what we're looking at here if you're over in, again, anywhere near Lewisburg. It's kind of what we're looking at as right now. Look at the live radar as well. There's where your hail is as of right now. Again, those were prior scans back out to the northwest, kind of give you an idea of what the hail is now. So it's probably at least around ping pong ball size hail in the peak. And again, for those that might be just not or might be wondering about these watches, by the way, there are watches ongoing up and down the coastline. They go all the way up into Maine. We actually have a bunch of warnings up in Maine right now. But this watch up here for New Hampshire and Maine goes until 9 o'clock Eastern time. That might get canceled a little bit early. There's also a watch ongoing for another 30 minutes over in New York, and as well as into extreme western Massachusetts and Connecticut. A watch ongoing for New Jersey and New York City until 10 o'clock tonight. The watch down here goes until 10 o'clock tonight as well. That it does, again, extend all the way down into West Virginia. And the one in Virginia does extend until 10 o'clock. No watch over here near Nashville. Again, most of the storm activity over here will remain, for the most part, isolated. We do have a new warning, though, that does go for damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour over here. That is east of Nashville. Those storms, again, are moving down to the southeast. So Cookeville will be in track of that storm pretty soon, and that'll be, again, moving down to the southeast. We have, I think, a new warning up here. I'm going to get to this. There's a new warning, I think, somewhere near New York City. We have the warning, obviously, just to the west of New York City. This was the storm, again, when we first went live. There was a tornado warning on this. This storm is really weakened, though, which is good news. So those in New York City, not really any reason to panic about that tornado warning anymore. Obviously, it expired a while ago, but looks like that storm is really weakening at this point. But there is a new warning, I believe, over here. Unless I might have missed it. I might have already covered this. I don't know. But this warning still ongoing for West Hurley. I'd actually go over this. But this is west of Kingston. So that's moving off to the east right now. That will probably go towards areas like West Connecticut or West Massachusetts. But overall, the severity of those storms should remain, for the most part, minimal. We have a bunch of warnings up here in Maine. I'm going to get to these real quick. If there's anything on these that we have to be concerned about. Looks like all 60-mile-per-hour winds and maybe some quarter-sized hail. I'm not seeing anything in terms of a tornado threat with these, which, again, very good news there. And we got one of northern Maine. Overall, a severe threat, though, in Maine right now seems to be pretty minimal. You know, all west of Interstate 95 right now. So, overall, very good news. We have a couple of ongoing storms up that direction. Again, here's a look at the ones in Massachusetts, currently east of Springfield. And these are, again, moving off to the east. The hail threat seems to be going down a little bit. Still around quarter size, most likely. Damaging winds might be up to 60 miles per hour. See if we get a new warning on these. If we do get a new warning, it should come within the next 5 minutes. What about North Carolina? North Carolina's not going to see much tonight, Billy. Most of these severe weather should be staying off to your north and west, unless you're in western portions of North Carolina. Far western. All right, the new mesoscale discussion, I was going to get to this, but there's a mesoscale discussion that got issued really when we went live for New England. So that does include, let me go and see if I can pull it up on here. I don't know if I can show it on here, but it basically includes all of New England, anywhere east of Vermont. Vermont's the only state not included, but it's primarily for the potential, the main things on it is basically damaging wind, threat, and large hail will continue for portions of New England and Maine over the next few hours. That's basically what we're talking for the next few hours anyways. Kind of pretty much obvious at this point, but we might see up to $50, maybe up to ping pong ball sized hail. That'd be about it. Maybe some damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour. Can't rule out a brief tornado, but I think for the most part, the tornado threat is close to zero, if not maybe at zero across New England, which again is very good news overall, unless we have some sort of discrete cell kind of pop out of nowhere. Thank you, Lauren and JJ, for subscribing, guys. And by the way, I appreciate it. Welcome. Yeah, Matt, there's some pretty big storms over there. I mean, it's just mainly a line right here. This is a pretty impressive area of storms over in Rockingham County here, north of Windham right now, as well as Salem, north of Nashua, now east of Manchester. Again, this is moving down to the southeast toward Exeter. Eventually going to go toward the beaches. So if anybody's along the beaches, hopefully they are no longer there. At least they're hopefully in shelter, because that is going to be coming in pretty soon. So a tornado warning. There was a tornado warning earlier, but that was in New York. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that just got issued for Windham. This also includes areas in Derry, Portsmouth, Hampton, Exeter, Kittery, Salem, Epping, Brentwood, Greenland, Seabrook, Rye, Stratham, Newmarket, Raymond, Pelham, Hudson, Londonderry, and Hampstead are all included in this new warning, again, for damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour. That is associated with this little line that we have ongoing here, and that's moving off to the south and east as of right now. Brand new warning there. Thanks, Lauren. I appreciate it. Glad you're here and glad you're enjoying the stream. And we also have a marine warning, by the way. I think this was already issued, but this is for basically going out the coastline. Obviously, hopefully most if not all the boaters are hopefully in by now, but that is going off the coast. Obviously, all these storms will be going off the coast eventually as they track off to the east, as well as those ones up there moving a bit more southeast. Cool. Yeah, these are the storms right now off into southern New England. Again, this is over in Southbridge right now, moving off to the east. I'm going to see if we get a new warning on these, and then we'll kind of go from there. And if you have any questions about any of the ongoing storms, feel free to leave those in the chat. And these storms currently moving off to the east as of right now. See if we have any reports from this area near Southbridge. Yeah, this is a pretty heavily populated area too over here in Massachusetts. Population of 68,000 in that warning. I'm not seeing anything in terms of pictures right now with this storm. Yeah, if you have any photos, any videos, anything like that, feel free to send them into our Twitter or even into our Discord server. Those links are again in the description below. You're definitely looking for some of that stuff with any of these storms. There are a lot of storms out there, so I would not be surprised if anybody's getting some photos and whatnot. We have new warnings over near the Chesapeake Bay area. There's actually a considerable threat for damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour. This is basically right along the coastline, and this currently is for the threat again, damaging winds up to 70. And knots are currently around 49. Hail is under pea size at this point, but this is currently moving off to the east. So those over in New Jersey, extreme southern New Jersey, currently seeing that threat of damaging winds around 70 miles per hour. So that's again moving off to the east and southeast right now. Thank you, Grace, and as well as Creations for subscribing. Appreciate it. Christian, I will not be live tomorrow. No, I'm taking the day off tomorrow. And I'm probably going to take the day off the next day. But again, I'll have videos like normal. I've been streaming literally nonstop for a week, so I have to take a little bit of a break. Hey man, any video works. If you have any videos or anything like that, feel free to send them in. Well, we have new warnings as well back out here in the west. All of these for 70 mile per hour damaging winds. So we're talking about a considerable threat right now. That does include areas even east now of Washington, D.C. These storms are again moving off to the east. They will be going into areas like Maryland and eventually Delaware. So just keep that in mind. Again, this is a new warning that got issued for those over in Easton, Central, or Centerville, Greensboro, I said Centralville twice, Oakland, Ridgely, as well as Rock Hall, Trapp, Church Hill, Oxford, Queen Anne, as well as Old Town, Graysonville, as well as Star, Coppertown, or Coopertown, it's Coopertown, as well as Jumptown and Windy Hill. Those areas are in the new warning for 70 mile per hour damaging winds. It is currently going through the Chesapeake Bay as of right now. And again, all these storms currently moving off to the east. That is our latest warning as of now. Back up here to the north. We have a new hail report up here over in New Hampshire. And that is of not even pea-sized hail. It's not even half-inch sized hail. It's just under half-inch sized hail that we had reported. That was actually with this cell that's now moving off the coastline. We also had some other hail reports up to nickel-sized hail. That was over closer to Concord, New Hampshire. We also had half-dollar sized hail reported from earlier over Merrimack. That was in Merrimack County, but that was just west of Concord. We also had more half-dollar sized hail. We actually had a good amount of half-dollar sized hail reported with these storms. Again, this is the line up in New Hampshire right now. Moving to the southeast. Let me take a look if we have any. We have a lot of warnings. It's more than 20, I think. We are up to a lot more warnings than where we're at right now. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Okay, so we're up to 32 warnings. Or actually more than that. All right. Oh, I just added 10 tornado warnings. We're not 10 tornado warnings. 1 second, please. Sorry, this is a new system that I'm using. All right. I have to go up a little bit. There we go. All right, we're up to 33 severe thunderstorm warnings right now. So we have a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings right now. We're not at 10 tornado warnings. I apologize. But this is, again, just in southeastern New Hampshire. So we have a lot of warnings ongoing as of right now. So that's all across, really, the United States. It's nowhere else. And that's just severe thunderstorm warnings. That does not include flash flood warnings, does not include special weather statements. It does not even include marine warnings or anything like that. That is just purely severe thunderstorm warnings that we have ongoing as of right now, which there is surprisingly a lot that we have right now. It is a pretty large risked area today, but still, there's a lot out there. We're actually up to 34, so we have to add one more. All right, let me put a timing guide on the couple of areas of storms. I know some of you guys are wondering about timing over anywhere in New Hampshire and Massachusetts. Let me give a little bit of an idea of what we're looking at for timing on these storms. This is the one area of storms currently in New Hampshire. So here's a look at the timing. Again, this will be moving off the coastline, but Windham right around 6:46, Nashua 6:46, Haverhill right around 6:56, Methuen 6:57, Lawrence right around 7 o'clock, Lowell right around 7:04, Beverly 7:25, Peabody, excuse me, right around 7:27, Salem 7:29, and Lynn 7:31. Again, that's moving down to the southeast as of right now. That is, again, where the storms are currently going, and they will be, again, moving off to the east and east-southeast over the next several minutes at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. Also had something reported over here, but nothing specified on there. This area of storms looks like it won't be severe. I'll kind of put a timing guide on it, but it is weakening overall. Yeah, we're at 34 severe thunderstorm warnings. I know that number might surprise you. You might think it's fake news, but it is actually real. This is a look at the left side of your screen over in again, timing for these areas of storms. These are primarily not going to be severe, it looks like, but they are going to be moving off to the east. Maybe some gusty winds, as well as some lightning, obviously. Pawtucket right around 7:20. Providence right around 7:20 as well. East Providence 7:23. Attleboro right around 7:24. Wyndham 7:29. Taunton 7:40. That's where the radar site is, and as well as 7:41 for Brockton. So, and a lot of damage, by the way, coming in this area. We have a tree on a car over in Springfield. So, yeah, I mean, this is pretty insane what we've been seeing so far. So, again, just for a new report, a tree is on a car. And that apparently was over near Springfield. And another 10 to 12 inch diameter tree branch down also on a house. And there's also a large tree on wires. Okay, we have a lot of trees down, obviously. I mean, unfortunately, we've seen some very significant damage so far. So, yeah, we're looking at a lot of severe weather still ongoing, but a lot of trees down. Thank you, Barbara, by the way, for subscribing. Let's see how many warnings we're up to. I think we're still at 34. We're up to 35 warnings. We're going to keep increasing that number. We're up to 35 total severe thunderstorm warnings. Again, that only includes severe thunderstorm warnings. I'll have to specify that next time. We also had new damage, by the way, over on Interstate 80. This is where the tornado warning was not that long ago. That was at the beginning of the stream. I think it was only like 40 minutes ago. This is a down tree on Interstate 80. So either strong downburst winds or possibly a brief tornado happened there. So, yeah, again, just for those that might be just tuning in, if you look at the bottom of the screen, you have a warning count down there. And that really represents how many warnings we have right now. And again, it's not an exaggeration. We actually have 35 severe thunderstorm warnings right now. We also have another warning. I don't know if this just got issued. It actually just did. So this is another warning for damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour and a quarter-sized hail. That is for Egg Harbor City and Mays Landing. That'll be eventually going toward Atlantic City. So again, this is in southeastern New Jersey. We're seeing some pretty significant damaging winds in the southern portions of the state. So a lot ongoing as of right now. And currently moving off to the east. All right, with the latest radar update, we're now down to 27. We're down to 27 now. All right, two more. We're down to 27 warnings. We just got, again, 6:45. That's when the warnings either get canceled or get issued typically. So, or when they get canceled. That's typically what happens there. We have a few other warnings out here. I think I've already mentioned these. We have a new damage report of lines down near the intersection of Frank Lane Road and Bowbender Lane. That's over in Sparkling Springs, so north of Harrisonburg. New little warning there. We also have a couple of, I think this might be a new warning as well. Yeah, this just got issued. I didn't see this warning before, but this is for 70 mile per hour winds and quarter-sized hail near Hinton. And this is going towards Peterstown and Narrows in Pembroke over the next 20 to 30 minutes. That's again moving off to the east and east-southeast. So brand new report there. No, we still got 27. We're actually down to 26. We're at 26 right now. Hey, you're good, James. Yeah, we actually did have a tornado last night up in Michigan. We were live for that. We were live for that tornado warning. There was a confirmed tornado today. No problem, Shannon. I appreciate you tuning in. No, Ohio's clear for tonight. And Virginia, yeah, Virginia. I mean, these are going right through Virginia right now. If you're near Roanoke, for example, these storms are coming your way. They are definitely on the way to your location. Well, I don't know if your location, but they are definitely moving into Virginia right now. All the warnings out there. We do have a new special weather statement. Let's hop up to this real quick. Over in Massachusetts, I'm assuming it's for gusty winds, maybe around 40 to 50. And it's for 40. So gusty winds up to 40 miles per hour for those out in front of this. This does include Oxford right now. It's going towards Franklin, Attleboro. It might reach Taunton. As I said before, the marginal risk kind of gets cut off like right here. And I don't expect much severe weather near the Cape Cod area, but these storms may last a little bit longer. Might bring some isolated like areas of lightning and whatnot to the coastline. But other than that, the overall threat level with these storms will be shrinking as these move off to the east and east-southeast, especially for those in Massachusetts. But we do have another area of storms back out here to the west that is producing some strong storms that's in eastern New York, that will be transitioning into Massachusetts and as well as extreme northwestern portions of Connecticut over the next, 30 to 45 minutes. But again, we've had a lot of trees down, and all these blue squares are damage reports. We've had dozens, and I wish I could go over every single one of them. There's just way too many. I mean, we're talking at least 40 to 50 damage reports on the map right now. It is insane how many damage reports we have. There's a tornado warning in New Jersey. Or isn't? There was one earlier. There's actually a new severe thunderstorm warning, though. We'll get to that. This is west of New York City. This is a warning. I don't know if this is new. No, it's actually old. I thought the warning got canceled. Well, I guess it's still ongoing. That's from New York City. That's actually just a strong storm now. All right, let me go back up here to the north. There's a tornado warning. Somebody else said that too? They're not showing up on my map. I don't see any tornado warning. Anybody else seeing a tornado warning? I don't think there is one. Yeah, there's definitely not a tornado warning. Yeah, there's no tornado warnings. Okay. Back to this. As of right now, this is near Exeter, though. This has possibilities for some damaging winds up to 60. I was going to do something. I just completely forgot. Okay, run. I'm just going to time you out. You're spreading false information. Let me go over to the... over here. All right, there we go. Again, the severe weather threat for the rest of tonight. Again, there's a slight risk of severe weather still ongoing. The marginal threat does cut off, really. Again, Cape Cod's not really included in that severe weather threat for tonight. Again, most of the severe weather is going to exist across areas in the southern states. That's what we really got going as of right now. Again, a lot of severe thunderstorm watch is still ongoing. We got some storms going toward Roanoke, for example. So that's what we got going across this area right now. And we'll be watching this very closely over the next several minutes. Hey, Lean, how you doing? Let me go over to the warning count. I think we're down to a little bit lower than what we're at now. We're at 19, so we're actually down to 19 warnings. We're dropping a little bit. That's good. We peaked at 35 severe thunderstorm warnings. It's hard to believe. We were actually peaked at that many over in that area. Again, if you have any questions about any particular storm, feel free to leave those in the chat as well. We'll keep you up to date with the latest. Again, all these storms currently moving off to the east for the most part. And there really isn't a single storm that's going any other direction. Most of them are moving east or east-southeast. Not a whole lot of them are moving down any other direction. Yeah, we do have severe weather ongoing closer to areas like Delaware and Maryland. And most of these, again, are producing winds around 70. Velocities as of right now, here's a look at them. And some of these brighter colors are going to represent your higher wind speeds. You can kind of see here, maybe near Annapolis, for example. Possibly just to the south, maybe a shady side. Possibly a little bit of stronger winds maybe there as well. So that's kind of what we're looking at for maybe some higher wind gusts with these storms. But again, we have a warning ongoing for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts as these move off to the east. Thank you, Roy, as well as Koyette for subscribing, guys. I appreciate it. Watching from the United Kingdom. Nice. Hope you're doing well over there in the United Kingdom. We have a update on this warning. I think this just got updated. This is up to 70-mile-per-hour winds now for this area. That's, again, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and as well as the potential for quarter-sized hail. That's near the Naval Academy, by the way. So that's, again, near Chesapeake Bay. Let's move it off to the east as of right now. And we have warnings currently exiting the coast. It's about to exit the coast. It's going toward Atlantic City, for example, right now. These storms, again, are over in southern New Jersey. So those over in southern New Jersey, just make sure you're staying away from windows. 70-mile-per-hour winds are expected with these storms. Velocities as of right now are indicating possibly a little bit higher winds. You can kind of see right now, we're still seeing some of those brighter colors. That is representing that potential for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And again, velocities have not been overly accurate in terms of the radar indicated velocities today. They have been really underestimating what we're looking at. So, because obviously a lot of these other storms have produced as high as 70. We actually had an 82-mile-per-hour wind gust. I didn't even realize this over at the Lower Alloways Creek Station. There was a report of an 82-mile-per-hour wind gust at 5:50 Eastern Time. So not even about an hour ago from now. There was actually an 82-mile-per-hour wind gust from this area of storm. So we've actually seen some pretty significant winds with this area tonight. So obviously that's going to be a possibility over the next, 15 to 20 minutes before these exit the coastline. We're currently at 70 miles per hour though on these. Had some hail in it. I gotcha. All right, let me take a look. Any of the storms up in Maine are just damaging winds or isolated quarter-sized hail, Robert. Central New Jersey, nothing going on in central New Jersey right now. Just a couple of passing showers, maybe. All the severe weather's either down to your south or off to your north. You're actually kind of lucked out in central New Jersey today. Why doesn't this rain go to Texas? All my grass is dying. I know it, man. I wish. We just haven't had really that great of a season. We had a really below average spring, which led to a very below average summer. And when we don't have much rain in the spring, the soil isn't, it's not moisturized enough to the point where we can actually have that much rain during the summer in most instances, unless we get some sort of tropical storm or something like that. So that's kind of why we're in that sort of predicament right now, unfortunately. Wish it wasn't like that, but that's kind of where we're at right now. We had a below average spring. Usually almost every single time we've had a below average spring, we've had a below average summer in terms of rainfall in North Texas. Thank you, Robert, for subscribing. I appreciate it. Any dark clouds outside? Yeah, that's probably going to happen. Obviously, a lot of these storms are going to be pretty potent. Now, obviously, this one, for example, right now, producing 70-mile-per-hour winds, possibly quarter-sized hail. Let me look at the hail radar again. Take a look. I don't know if it's updated at all on this cell. And any of these red colors would represent quarter-sized hail or greater. And you can see there's possibly some quarter-sized hail in here. Could have peaked as high as possibly ping-pong ball-sized hail. We had a report of only pea-sized hail, though, at 6:34. So the radar might not be nearly as accurate, but I believe this might have been an estimated location. I could be wrong. The radar's estimating right around quarter to $half size, maybe up to ping-pong ball. That's why the warning is still ongoing for quarter-sized hail at the minimum. And as of right now, the warning area is for quarter-sized hail. We actually had hail up here reported around quarter size as well. And this area actually was up to hen egg size by radar. So it's probably actually being overestimated now over in this area. We do have a couple of hail reports over in Lewisburg. That's associated with this area of storms here near Interstate 64. Let's move off to the east right now. Hey, Colton, how you doing? Welcome back. "40-mile-per-hour winds can knock down trees." Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends on what kind of trees you're talking about, though. If you're talking about like a tiny tree, very well could. When you're talking about like some of these larger trees, though, a lot of the trees in this area are going to be larger, so 40-mile-per-hour winds usually don't do that. This is really in the northeast right now. Kayleen, if I'm saying your name right, or Kaylin. Hey, Virginia, how you doing? Welcome back. You're having a good day so far. By the way, this storm is for ping pong ball size hail. I didn't even realize that. So this is actually up to ping pong ball size hail. I don't know if it got downgraded. Let me take a look. And as of right now, it's still ping pong ball size hail in this storm. So this storm over here east of Lewisburg, again, this is near Covington. This area might be producing up to ping pong ball size hail. Main threat, though, is going to be damaging winds up to 60. This area over here up to 70-mile-per-hour winds. Again, going towards Narrows and Peterstown and Pembroke over the next little while. That's kind of what we're looking at as of right now. All right, we're back up to 28 severe thunderstorm warnings. Got to increase this number a lot. All right, so we're up to 28 severe thunderstorm warnings now. Warning count continues to go up. I'm doing good, pretty good, Virginia. For asking. Hey, Trap, how you doing? From Massachusetts, nice. Come on in. We have some other warnings down here to the south. I kind of mentioned this before, but we actually have a new warning that got issued for Cookville, as well as Smithville and Monterey. These areas for damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour and quarter-sized hail. These storms are currently moving off to the east. So another little concern there. Possibly, again, maybe some hail and as well as some damaging winds. So another area to watch out for kind of closely. Also have, again, severe weather ongoing up here to the north near Middlesboro and near Lafayette, if I'm saying them right, and Tazewell. Those areas in the track for some damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour and quarter-sized hail. We actually have a few severe thunderstorm warnings outside of really any of these other areas. I'm going to go to this one real quick. This is near Louisiana. This isn't Louisiana. This is for 60-mile-per-hour winds. This is right along the coast right now, going towards Cameron. So this is near Grand Chenier, if I'm saying them right, as well as Creole. I'm probably not saying the name right either. And Rutherford Beach. I'm saying that name right. But that's moving off to the west as of right now. 60-mile-per-hour winds are going to be possible there. And that is, again, way down on the Gulf Coast. And we also have some storms over in Colorado as of right now. These ones are also producing some low-end threats of damaging winds around 60 miles per hour. And this is, again, not even an area where there was a marginal risk for severe weather today. It's actually not even in a risk area, but there's actually a little bit of low-end severe weather happening here near Colorado City. So definitely something to keep in mind there. Again, those storms are kind of moving slowly to the north. We also have a special weather statement down over in central Texas. Back up here into New England. There's a new special weather statement that got issued, by the way, for Haverhill, Newburyport, Ipswich, and Gloucester. Those areas for gusty winds around 40 miles per hour. Again, beaches are going to be being impacted here within the next few minutes. For those near maybe Hampton Beach, for example, Plymouth, or Portsmouth, excuse me, any of those areas are going to see that potential for some damaging winds up to 60 up that direction, around 40 in this area. We just got a special marine warning as well, along with that, for winds around 34 knots or greater. That also goes for this one, knots of 40 is expected here just off the coastline as well. Maryland has over 170,000 power outages, really a lot. Hey, no problem, Lee. I completely understand that. Hope you're having a great day as well. Warning count is up to 29 now. So update that. This is our other warning, by the way. It's going to expire in a couple minutes, but this is still ongoing for stores. This is moving down over to the east and east-southeast. The overall storms are weakening out, though. It looks like the ones in Massachusetts, for the most part, are weakening. Have a little strong storm maybe back out here near North Granby as well. And that's going to be possibly skimming Hartford. So that storm's currently moving off to the east as of right now. Another little storm to be watching for as that moves and tracks off to the east. And if you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. I would appreciate it. Again, we're on the road now to 11,000 subscribers. And make sure to hit the like button as well down below if you're new here. Would really appreciate it. We have a new wind gust that just came in of 46. So that's near the Millville Airport. So I have a new report there. These wind warnings are both down to 60 now with a correspondence to that. So that's just a little update there. The storms going through Chesapeake Bay right now are still around 70, at least it says right now for this warning. So 70 mile per hour winds still possible from Easton, Centerville, as well as Greensboro, Oakland, Ridgely. Those areas all included for that potential, again, for winds as high as 70, and as well as potentially a little bit of quarter-sized hail. Again, storms currently moving off to the east. What was the purple on the map in the Mass area? Are you talking about like these colors here that we're talking about? Because that's just hail, typically. Either heavy rain or some small hail. Like pea-sized at most. One severe warning has a tornado possible. Which warning has a... Does anybody know if there's a warning with a tornado possible on it? I don't think there is. Could be wrong, but... I don't see any storms rotating as of right now. Again, this is the storm right now over in Maryland. And again, moving off to the east, we actually have two large trees down near the intersection of MD 197 and Old Chapel Road. So that's another new report we have coming in. We have a lot of reports over near Washington, D.C. too. There was trees down, several trees down at a residence. A 70 mile per hour wind gust was actually reported over in Centralville as well. Centuryville. And also a tree down near 50 and Pleasant Valley Road. Also, quarter-sized hail and trees down over there. That was from Arcola. Again, these were from earlier, just some of the reports that we haven't looked at so far. Several large trees down over in the countryside. Yeah, just a lot of trees down overall, unfortunately. 62 mile per hour wind gusts over in Leesburg as well. So, yeah, we've had obviously a lot of damaging wind reports with these storms so far. It's unfortunate, but hopefully some of this severe weather starts to wind down a little bit. We are starting to see it winding down in New England, at least. There's a couple of warnings still ongoing up in Maine. But overall, the watch is likely going to be either let to expire or either be canceled within the next 30 minutes. I would expect the Massachusetts area starting to see literally all the severe weather pretty much winding down there. There's a couple of storms still in New York. Those will be moving into New England, but they will be weak. We still have some storms, though, along the Jersey coastline. We're watching a lot of the storms really across areas down to the south now. It's kind of where we have the main area of storms at this point. Again, this area right now near Centuryville as well as Easton, Graysonville, or Grassonville. I think it's Grassonville. That's also seeing some damaging winds around 70 miles per hour. That's moving off to the east. Greensboro as well as Goldsboro will all be in the track of that as well. So that's what we're looking at as of right now. Let me put on the road data over here. Over in Maryland. Gives us a little bit of an idea of where we're at. There we go. So we put some road data on here. So that's Maryland. Give you an idea of where we're looking for roads and whatnot here. Christian, you have to tell me what storm it is. I don't think there's any storms with a tornado possible on it. Could explain the... Yeah, Maryland probably has a lot of power outages, not because of just the winds, but also probably that we had a lot of trees down, which would make sense. I mean, it's basically winds causing trees to fall. Thank you, Jeanette, or Janet, as well as Stefan and Ray for subscribing, guys. I do appreciate it. Well, no, Lee, I've not. I've actually never done it. I've never encountered one. I've been on tornado warnings before plenty of times, but... Are you talking about the one in New York? I think that one's going to be expiring. Or already has expired. Yeah, that one already expired. There was a tornado possible on it earlier, but is no longer rotating. And it wasn't really rotating when the tornado possible label was on that storm to begin with. So, pretty good news there overall. All right, cool. Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to leave those in the chat. Take a look if we have any new damage reports or anything like that. Yeah, so over 100,000 people are without power right now in Maryland. The latest report that we have from there. But I heard 170,000 in the chat. Yeah, there's trees down as well over in DC, by the way. There are trees down in DC. One landed on a power line, causing a fence fire, apparently, over there as well. Another landed on a car with 2 people inside. Also, lightning struck a home, but no fire. That is insane. We actually had some pretty crazy stuff happen over there. Oops, in Maryland. And also the Clinton County storm damage. Not sure when this was. Apparently it was just straight line winds, though. That was over in Westphalia. Oh, that was near St. John's. So from last night, just to kind of give you an update, for those that were watching last night's live stream, the Michigan tornado, there was actually one over south of Flint in Fenton, so that was a confirmed tornado. I have a picture again on Discord. Do ! Discord, or check out the link in the description if you want to see that. That's in the announcements tab. But there was straight line wind damage in Clinton County. That was the first tornado warning that we saw last night. It was straight line wind damage. It was not from a tornado. So just an update there. Yeah, we have a lot of damage coming in from Maryland. Maryland seems to be the most impacted state so far with the damage. We also have trees down, power lines, and stuff like that. It's pretty crazy. Lots of crazy stuff. Christian, you're good. Really, Lee? That's crazy. Yeah, EF3 tornadoes are no joke, and especially in Germany. That's actually kind of surprising. It's definitely surprising. Hey, Kayla, how you doing? Welcome back. Dude, that expired a long time ago. We have thunderstorms in South Georgia. There's going to be some thunderstorm activity down there. None of that's going to really be that severe, but there is going to be definitely a possibility for maybe some, isolated wind gusts or something like that. We also have more damage coming in down here. Man, the damage just doesn't end. We have actually more damage reports coming in down here in Tennessee and Kentucky now. Looks like we have tree blown down at 403 West Tennessee Avenue. And tree down over roadway, time estimated by radar, over in Jellicoe. So a couple areas there that have had some damage. Again, those are right basically in southeastern portions of Kentucky, as well as extreme northern portions of Tennessee there. So again, more damage being reported. We have several warnings ongoing still. Damaging winds around 60 miles per hour, quarter-sized hail at these ones as well. Honestly, this is just the weird weather never ends here, unfortunately. As well as near Cookville, by the way, in Smithville. This storm area also has 60 mile per hour winds and quarter-sized hail. Got 80+ mile per hour winds over in Arkansas. Really? I think these winds are the winds over here are only 60, I'm pretty sure. I'll take a look at the velocities, but winds are most likely around 60 over here. Take a little guess here. Seeing about 50 estimated by radar. So I don't see what you're saying. I mean, I don't see 80, but it probably was around 60. I know 80 and 60 kind of probably feel completely different, but 60 might have felt like 80. Thank you, Southern, for subscribing. I appreciate it. Again, this is actually going down to the south. I think it's actually associated with the outflow boundary, possibly. That's going toward Little Rock. So those over in Little Rock, definitely make sure you're kind of staying away from windows. Damaging winds again up to 60, maybe even 65 miles per hour will be possible as that moves down to the south. Really? Yeah, I mean, 60 mile per hour winds might be able to do that, Dawson. I mean, in my opinion, I think the 60 mile per hour winds probably could be able to do that. Oh, right here? Well, probably, I'm assuming that the winds are probably coming from that outflow boundary. Take a look in the last couple of scans here. I think there might be an outflow boundary here. Looks like there is. Yeah, there's an outflow boundary. So the outflow boundary might have done that. But I don't think it was 80. It's probably 60. At the most. We still have 2 warnings still ongoing for 60 mile per hour winds and quarter size tail, but I definitely don't rule out that 60 mile per hour winds could have done that. I don't think it was 80 though. Radar back on here. Do I do live reactions in stream? What do you mean by that, Lee? Central New Jersey, dark, no rain. I don't know if you'll see much, to be honest with you. I think the overall severe threat is going to be off to your north or south. We've already seen most of the storms kind of go through that region already. This is kind of a look over here, closer to New Jersey right now. The 2 warnings that we have in New Jersey are in extreme southern New Jersey. These are moving off the coast. Other than that, maybe some rain back up here. Take a look at this radar site. And I don't think we see, yeah, there's not really much, and I don't think you'll see much, honestly. If you're in central New Jersey, I think you're done for tonight. I think that severe weather threat will be kind of going down over there. We still do have that potential for 70 mile per hour winds, though, over here. This is still an ongoing threat. We have a lot of warnings still, but this is just one of them for damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour. So there's definitely some ongoing severe threats here. We are actually down to 24 warnings, by the way. Let me go and update that real quick. So, again, if you want to check out the warning count, see how many severe thunderstorm warnings we got ongoing as of right now, it's at the bottom of the screen, bottom right. And here's a look at the ongoing area right now of 70 mile per hour winds. Again, moving off to the east. Lee, not really, because I don't want to get copyright stuff reacting live. I don't do that. I would if I didn't get copyright stuff for it, but... James, it's at the bottom of the description. It's the Denton County weather at gmail.com. Yeah, the severe thunderstorm watch does go until 10 o'clock tonight. Hey, bro, how you doing? Welcome back. How you doing tonight? These warnings are still ongoing, by the way, over here near Roanoke. Still the same threats, I think. There's still 70 mile per hour winds. This one's actually down to 60 mile per hour winds and quarter size tail. This one here is also down. It's still ping pong ball size tail in this one, but they're both right now 60 mile per hour winds, and this one's ping pong ball size tail for an update. Again, right now moving down to the southeast. New severe thunderstorm warning over in Connecticut. Yeah, we do have a new warning. There's a new warning over in Connecticut. Let's go over to this. This is north of Hartford. This is for 60 mile per hour winds and a little bit of penny size hail. Nothing too crazy, but new warning just got updated here. Look at the velocities. And primarily just wind at this point. This is currently just to the northwest of Manchester. Moving off to the east. So again, brand new warning just got issued here. And there's actually a tornado possible. Okay, that's actually interesting. So there's actually a tornado possible label on this cell north of Hartford. So we actually do have a little possibility for maybe a tornado threat with this. So again, brand new tornado possible label on this. There is a little bit of rotation. I was kind of thinking that. So there's a little bit of rotation here. It's broad, but there is a little bit there. It might try to develop here. I'll have to watch this cell pretty closely. It's a little small cell. It's just north of Hartford. And again, tornado possible label is on this cell. So just make sure, again, if you're in this area, just be aware there might be a possibility that this starts to rotate as it moves off to the east. Over to the, you can see the hail, by the way, the correlation coefficient, for example. It's showing a little bit of this hail area here, Terrafil, west of Interstate 91, by the way. But we do have, a little bit of rotation here. We'll have to watch this closely. And tornado possible label is on this storm. So we're going to watch this very closely for you. This is not a tornado warning. It's a tornado possible. There's a difference. Tornado possible means there's a possibility that a tornado may develop or rotation might start to develop over the next several minutes in comparison to a tornado warning where it's an imminent threat and a tornado could occur at any time. So there's a difference. One's a bit more, progressive. All right, next velocities update I think will come in here in a second. But we definitely have a pretty decent defined storm here. Definitely a hail core here. A little bit of an inflow right here as well. I have to draw a better arrow, but there's a little bit more of an inflow right here. Again, tornado, if there were to be one at some point, would probably be located in that little notch there. We'll have to watch that closely. Yeah, this is not a tornado warning. It is a tornado possible. Again, big difference. But tornado possible does mean we could see something in the foreseeable future, meaning possibly within the next 5 to 10 minutes. It might even be a little bit longer than that, or might not happen at all. But tornado warning does mean an imminent threat. There's just a little bit of a difference there. Look at the velocities. Let's take a look. This is the latest update. And as of right now, again, rotation as of now is still a little bit broad. There is a little bit of rotation, though, there. Just to the west-northwest of Manchester. Approaching Interstate 91. There's a little bit of rotation. We'll have to watch it closely. Tornado emergency is when there is, you have to take, I mean, it's basically, typically with more of the strong tornadoes, but basically means you have to seek shelter immediately. Because there's most of the cases when there's a tornado emergency, there's a tornado on the ground. Yeah, there's definitely rotation with this. Looking at most radar sites, and there's definitely rotation on this cell. The storm right now is moving to the east, for reference. Sounds good, Annie. Yeah, there's probably some rotation with this. There's definitely going to be some rotation with this, but... Let me go over to the slightly higher levels. You can see there's more rotation even in the upper levels here. Slightly more rotation up that direction. So there, again, there's rotation with this cell. I would not be surprised if we do get a tornado warning at some point on this, but it will depend on what happens over the next couple of scans. Again, it's not tight. It's not, anything that to be concerned about at the immediate moment, but it could very well develop. Yeah, there's over 170,000 people without power in Maryland. It's crazy. Usually don't get tornadoes in New Jersey. It's pretty rare there. It's really pretty rare anywhere along the northeast United States. I'm going to see if we have any view on this storm. Not sure if we will, but I'm going to take a look. And this cell is currently just to the north of Hartford. Again, tornado possible label, again, is on the storm right now. Watching this very closely for you. We have a little view on the storm. It's not impressive. I'm going to try to see if we have any better view on it, though. Yeah, you can kind of see it. This is a look at it. It's going to be blurry. I'll give you a view at it. That's the storm right there. Got the clouds in the background here. A little bit of a view on it. Nothing crazy, but a little bit of a view. Over, that's actually looking west. And that's from Manchester, by the way. So looking for Manchester off to the west. It's at the top. It was at the top right of your screen there. So that's kind of what we're looking at there right now. It's hard to see over the trees, but that's kind of what we're looking at in terms of the ongoing storm again with that tornado possible label. So there's a little bit of rotation. There's actually very strong winds too. Yeah, velocities seem to be getting a little bit tighter here. Yeah, that's just northwest of Manchester. We're going to watch this very closely again for you. Again, tornado possible labels on it. We definitely have a little bit of rotation on this. Again, this is in Connecticut. This is north of Hartford right now, near the capital. That's the best traffic cam, though, I think we have right now. We will definitely look to see if we have anything better than that, but I think that's the best one. That's definitely the best one. Yeah, this is just off to the north of Hartford, west of Manchester. Keep you updated with the latest and see if anything does end up occurring with the storm. It definitely has some rotation, though, so we're watching very, very closely. All right. Again, storm's currently moving off to the east, so just make sure, again, you're ready to seek shelter if we do get another tornado warning here. Definitely not out of the question here. And, again, north of Hartford. Little bit of rotation here. See the next velocity scan is coming in right now. So we'll see if it does strengthen at all. If so, we probably will get a tornado warning. If it stays the same, we probably will not get one. At least for the given moment. It's coming in right now. We'll take a look. Here's the latest update. I don't see anything tight. It's still there. There's a little bit of these greens and reds mixing. It's not that tight, though, at this point. So, at this given time, I don't think we'll see a tornado warning yet, but there is definitely a hail core up here. I mean, we're still possibly seeing some quarter-sized hail there near Windsor Locks. Again, that's moving right across the interstate, but right at this given time, I don't see anything that's extremely tight that would indicate that there's a tornado on the ground now, or even in the remote future, at least in the next 5 minutes. But we'll have to watch it closely. Again, there's still a tornado possible on this severe thunderstorm warning, so definitely a storm to monitor very closely. No, Matthew, there's not. Does New Mexico get tornadoes? Sometimes, but not usually. Rotation is still broad on this cell, but watch it closely just in case. Yeah, maximum hail is penny size, but it's probably around quarter size now. Right here, that's possibly where we have a little bit of quarter-sized hail near Interstate 91. All right, let me take a look at the warning count. I think I haven't updated it. We are down to 20 warnings now, so we'll have to drop that count down to 20. That's what we got as right now. Again, this is the cell right now in Connecticut. It's currently moving off to the east. And I'll have to watch pretty closely. It's the one cell that we got going as of right now. We have several severe thunderstorm warnings still ongoing. They stretch all the way through Arkansas. They're pretty scattered right now, but there's definitely a lot of warnings ongoing right now. Keep you up to date with the latest. Again, if you have any questions on any specific warning, any specific storms, feel free to leave those questions in the chat. Keep you up to date with the latest here. And northwest of Manchester is where we have a little bit of rotation. All right. And any bad thunderstorms, hail? There is hail with some storms, but most of them are primarily just damaging winds. This one, for example, is both. I mean, it is probably around quarter size now, but it is probably still mainly damaging winds. When was the last long track tornado? I think we had one pretty recently. I know the most recent one that I was live for was over in Wisconsin. That one was a 30-minute tornado, I'm pretty sure. And I was live for that one. That was at least a few weeks ago, though. That was like last month. The invest in the Gulf of Mexico, there's no invest. It's not an invest still. It is not at least from what I know, it's not an invest. Let me look it up real quick. Yeah, it's not an invest. It is a low pressure system, though. It's definitely an area to watch for sure. Let me go back over to the 21 warnings. Let me take a look at velocities again. Here's a look at the velocities. And they're kind of down here, but I don't see a whole lot of rotation. I mean, this isn't really where rotation would typically be centered at. But there's still a little bit there. It's not much. Overall broad rotation. Still not too concerned about this. Thank you, Arena, for subscribing. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is the cell we got going as right now. Yeah, this is over in Connecticut. Watch it still pretty closely. We have some more storms back out to the west of this in southwestern Massachusetts over near Great Barrington, and as well as near Pine Plains. That's over in eastern New York. So a couple of storms here producing maybe some gusty winds or even some small hail right now. All the storms in New Hampshire have moved off the coast. I would expect this watch to probably be canceled, or at least be condensed up here. We actually have a considerable threat up here. Let's go take a quick look at these storms up in Maine. These are currently moving off to the east. This is west of Lincoln and west of I-95. This is currently producing damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour, and as well as ping pong ball sized hail. So these storms are currently moving off to the east. And yeah, this is definitely another area to watch. Again, moving off to the east-northeast. We also have some storms up near Holton. That's also 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-sized hail. So a couple of areas of storms, to watch for as they go out that direction. Those will be primarily going to Canada in a couple of hours, but pretty strong storms up that direction. Those are actually probably our most severe storms as of right now. We also have another warning down here. I believe this one is new. This one's for damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour and quarter-sized hail. So this is a new warning that we have And that is currently for those in Greensboro, Denton, as well as anywhere off to the east, as far east almost as Milford now and Dover. So those areas are going to be next in track of this little area of storms. And 60-mile-per-hour winds going to be the main concern in this area. Hey, Aaron, how you doing? Welcome back. Severe thunderstorm warning in Brunswick. Okay. Back over here to, I don't know if there's a radar site nearby here. Going down to Richmond, I know that. That's kind of far. Isn't this the area that there isn't much radar sites around here? But this area is another area with severe weather ongoing. 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-sized hail. This is near Culpeper as well as Orange, Madison, Standardsville, Big Meadows, Brightwood, Opel, Remington, all included in this warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds and as well as quarter-sized hail. Again, that's moving down to the southeast as of right now. And again, we got almost a dozen warnings ongoing over in Tennessee now. There's just a lot of severe weather ongoing here. All of these are for 60-mile-per-hour winds and potentially up to quarter-sized hail. But overall, several trees down actually over in Tazewell. So several trees on the roadways there. So a little bit of an area to watch for in terms of, obviously, if you're traveling, just make sure you're aware of that. It's just a wide look at things as of right now. And we have a warning again, still ongoing. I'm going to go to this real quick. We had a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust reported over in Villonia. Actually, if you were in, I know somebody in chat was from Villonia, and they were actually saying they had some pretty significant winds there. So there was actually a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust reported there. So that's the latest confirmation we have on this. And we also have a very prominent outflow boundary. It's very well defined here on radar. Let me put on yellow. This is a very defined outflow boundary right here. And that's moving off to the north and obviously off to the west and south right now. So we might see some more storm activity off in this direction here pretty soon, depending on how much instability is in this area, which I think there's a good amount of instability. But as of right now, this is going toward Little Rock, just for reference. Moving down to the south. I will not be live tomorrow, no. Taking a couple days off. Unless there's something mandatory, but I think for the most part, we'll be looking at minor severe weather. Really, Aaron? Yeah, there was a funnel cloud up in St. Augustine. There's one over in, there was actually a tornado warning earlier today. I was live for it. There's one over in the Florida Panhandle too. So we saw so far today. Thank you, Robert, for subscribing. I appreciate it. Matthew, I will not be live tomorrow. Nope. No problem, Lauren. Appreciate you tuning in. See you again soon. I actually had quarter-sized hail reported with this storm too. So again, going toward Little Rock. There's a pretty decent storm here. Look at the satellite here real quick. I don't know how good the satellite is on here, but let's just look at the water vapor, by the way. It's pretty impressive. Basically all the clouds, again, drifting off to the northeast with this cell. Yeah, you can just see this is a very impressive, I mean, pretty high cloud tops to begin with. Yeah, we're talking pretty high cloud tops overall. Temperature is very cold up there, obviously, with these storm clouds. Again, clouds drifting off to the northeast. Very, very impressive area of storms here. And the clouds are now starting to develop also over here, so that might pose, again, possibly a few storms to develop. And the outflow boundary, again, is right here. So it's kind of like the leading edge of all these cloud developments now. So it's very cool looking at these sort of things. Very, very cool. All right, let me go back over here to the... let me just turn off the satellite for now. Again, it was over in Little Rock. All right, let me go back up to the tornado possible warning over here in... Connecticut real quick, see if there's any new updates on this. I don't know if there's anything new to be concerned about with this. Again, there was a tornado possible label on it, and there still is. Velocities, there's still a little bit of broad rotation. I'm not seeing anything tight or strong though right now. Still something to watch, but overall, the rotation's been pretty minimal with this so far. And here's a look, by the way, at the satellite over here. I'm not sure how good the satellite will be over here since it's kind of nighttime, but it's getting close to nighttime at least. See all the storms up and down the coast. We have our highest cloud tops in this area now where the new developments are. Just kind of for reference. And by the way, the tropical system that we have right now is currently it's not tropical. It's basically an area development, but there's a lot of storm activity here. And that's again going to bring 10 to 15 inches of rain to the Gulf, or the Gulf Coast. So if you live on the Gulf Coast, make sure to watch my latest video to get some information on where that could be impacting. For that potential, again, for some flooding, potentially as much as 10 to 15 inches of rain. Even if it's not a tropical storm, it might pose that threat for some very high rain totals. A lot of neat setup episode today. Thanks, Aaron. I appreciate it. I love looking at all this stuff. I really am so obsessed with this sort of stuff on weather. So cool. It is just very cool to look at all this stuff. I don't usually use a lot of this stuff on stream either. Like a lot of these little, like the satellite imageries, for example, I hardly ever touch. I've never, actually, this is probably the first time I've ever touched them. Just usually don't show it off that much. This is the infrared imagery. So you can see. Again, the reds in this situation are showing the higher cloud tops. We have our most potent storms down here. These are the newly developed storms. The rest of them are starting to basically weaken. It's kind of a little bit defined here, but a lot of these oranges, not nearly as defined. Usually when we see more reds and even pinks sometimes, those are representing some higher cloud tops. Down here, again, for like those in Virginia, it's just a lot less overall. We're looking at a lot lesser of storm activity. It's obviously, there's still a lot of storms, but the overall severity is going to be going down, especially with what we're seeing here. There's still some potent storms over here, it looks like, though, over near Culpeper as well as Orange. These are producing some 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-sized hail. But overall, here's a look at the United States. And again, tropical system down here in the Gulf. Have some storm activity down there in southern Florida, it looks like. And again, that one area over here in Memphis, kind of hard to see there. We have some storms actually in central portions of Texas. And we got some storms over as well over into Denver. So there's some storm activity there. Again, this is a pretty impressive area, though. We got our outflow boundary right now going here. And our storm activity here. It's pretty interesting. All the clouds, again, drifting off to the east and east-northeast. It's kind of what we got going as right now with this whole entire thing. Let's back over to the radar over here. Yeah, if you're just tuning in, this is kind of what we look. This is a pretty interesting little setup that we got here. And this is just something you might want to learn, but we got this little outflow boundary, as I kind of said before right here. That is shooting off all these extra clouds out in front of it. You can kind of just see a lot of more cloud activity here now. That all is actually developing from that outflow boundary. It's letting that, basically the cap almost going away. It's making these storms really increase rapidly, starting to make sure that those storms really develop quickly. And that's the one storm we got going as right now, north of Little Rock. And you can just see all the clouds, again, moving off to the northeast. And it actually extends almost all the way out to the east as Memphis. So if you're in Memphis, for example, you might be actually able to see these clouds. And again, you can see the darker reds. That's representing some, stronger storms developing. As of right now, we have a new severe thunderstorm warning actually for Little Rock. So it's kind of what we got going as of right now. It's very interesting. Storms moving down to the south, though, as of right now. Take off this real quick. This is just another view at it. This is the water vapor imagery, for example. So again, very high amount of water vapor as well. Thanks, Weather. I appreciate it. Thanks, Matthew. I appreciate that too. Thank you, Heather, for subscribing. Let's see. What's the story for New York City? Now, I don't think much will happen there. It looks like the one severe storm that was back out to your west is kind of weakened out. So I think the overall severe threat there will be pretty minimal. I guess it's probably good news. Let's look from the New York City camera, or the New York City radar, by the way, or around the Long Island area. Let's look at the storm over in Connecticut right now. Again, this was the one that has this 20 possible label on it. I don't think the rotation is not that strong anymore. Yeah, rotation's not that strong. It's very broad right now. We have a new area, though, with a new special weather statement back up in near Springfield. This area already saw so much damage. They're probably cleaning up, but they're going to get more storms, unfortunately. 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts expected in this area. So brand new area of potentially some isolated strong storms out this direction. Sounds good, Annie. Sounds good. Yeah, feel free to send those in. Yeah, if you have any questions about any severe weather ongoing, any weather in general, feel free to put those in the chat. Again, if you have any questions at all about anything, I don't really care what they are, but feel free to leave those in the chat as well. Again, that's kind of what we got going as of right now. We have actually a load of wind reports over here, probably from a lot of the buoy stations. Yeah, these are all from buoys. From this severe thunderstorm warning that's now over into Maryland, going to Delaware right now. This is all 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts, it looks like. The warning is still for 60-mile-per-hour winds, but overall, the wind reports so far have been around 50 or lower. The closest radar to Sierra Vista, Arizona is still down, and there's a storm outside. Really? Hey, Magical, how you doing? Welcome on in. All right, let me go over to, I don't know where that is, Stan. Let me take a look, though. Can you tell me, like, what part of the state that's in? Aaron, 0. It's 0. Oh, I'm hoping to experience one someday, because I kind of want to be in a tornado, or not in a tornado, but, like, see one someday, but... Hey, Sherry, how you doing? Welcome back. I'll take a look at it. I'll take a look at that storm in Arizona in a second for you. I think I have a radar that can look at it. On the coast? Coast should be fine. I don't expect much down there. Looks like most of the storm activity will be up in northern Connecticut today. Let me go over to this real quick in Arizona. So you said Arizona, right? Let me just put on this other radar. Yeah, these storms just look to be regular, ordinary storms for the most part. There's one near Prescott and also one over here east of Phoenix. They're not severe, though. Just ordinary storms overall. Nothing concerning. All right, let me turn back off this. Let's look at the fronts, by the way. It's probably not updated fully, but it's kind of interesting to look at. Yeah, the front's not updated, but this is basically the cold front. Again, the trough up in the Canada area, that's kind of what we're looking at here. Yeah, the trough is way up here now. But now we're looking at, again, that cold front extends all the way down the coastline. It goes into Texas almost now. And North Texas will actually see a cold front tonight, but it's not going to bring anything good. It's just going to bring, you know, slightly drier conditions, and that's it. Just for reference, if you are in from North Texas, or even Oklahoma, for example, just slightly drier, that's it. Look at what else I can do on this thing. I haven't really done much on the software. I kind of just do the same thing every time. It's kind of interesting, though. A lot of things I've never used on here. Actually, I can look at the 6 to 10 day outlook for temperatures and stuff like that. This is the temperature outlook for the next 6 to 10 days. This is where we'll have above average, or this is actually precipitation. So below average precipitation across the central plains, and above average possibly along the east coast. 8 to 14 day outlook is pretty much the same thing. Temperature outlook is above average temperatures, which isn't a surprise pretty much to anybody, I would assume. And for the month, this is for the month, this entire month, we're going to see above average temperatures here in the center portions of the United States. So some interesting stuff there. All right, let me get back to some of the severe weather. Sorry, I'm kind of going off track. I haven't really used a lot of this stuff, though. All right. Hey, Anthony, how you doing? No problem, Stan. Sorry. Joe, I don't even know what that is, but cool. Congratulations. Anything for Ward, Arkansas. Unless you're near Little Rock, I mean, the only storm that's over in Arkansas right now is the one that is moving off to the south near Little Rock. I'm not sure where Ward is, but if you're near that storm, then you might see some wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour, maybe a little bit of quarter-sized hail. Is everything all good next week? What do you mean? Next week? Well, I don't know where you are, but there will probably be some severe weather next week. It just depends on when. I mean, right now we are on Tuesday, so we still got a lot of time between now and then. Wind is insane, making cracking noises in our cottonwoods. Really? Where are you at? Some wind damage and whatnot. The velocities, by the way. I haven't showed this in a second, but there's very broad rotation. Again, this cell had a tornado possible label on it. It still does, but overall rotation is pretty much minimalized here on this cell. Still 60 mile per hour winds possible, but I think the overall winds have kind of weakened as well. This storm up here, closer to Springfield, is coming back for a second round of storms over, again, going toward Westfield and Springfield. This area already saw a lot of damage, a lot of trees down already, and they're going to see more storms in that area. So just continuing threat there. Oh, Colorado. There's been a couple of storms over there. They've been very isolated, but there has been a few that have been severe. There's actually a warning in just northeast of Denver, it looks like. Near Fort Morgan, actually. There's a warning there. Brand new warning over in Colorado. I've had a few over there. All right, we are down to 18 severe thunderstorm warnings. Let me go and update this. Good news. That's awesome, Virginia. Sorry, I missed your message. There's a lot of things. Also, this is another thing. Obviously, I've shown this before, but this is a look at the overall area development again that we have over the next several days. Rainfall totals are expected again to hit 10 to 15 inches in some spots, so we are looking at pretty significant rainfall most likely in these areas. Again, that's going to be anywhere along the coastline here, and we're already seeing some storm activity, I believe, right now. You can see that there's some storm activity. Our low pressure system currently centered basically right there. That's going to drift very slowly down over to the west. It might not develop into a tropical storm, but it's going to bring 10 to 15 inches possibly to areas along the coastline. So there's going to be some pretty significant rainfall from this, unfortunately. So that's what we're looking at right now in that area. Yeah, we got a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing. We actually have a new one for Roanoke. This is for 60 mile per hour winds as well as quarter-sized hail. So again, brand new severe thunderstorm warning here. We got on the high-def radar. Take a look what we're looking at here. It's a brand new warning. It might have been issued a while ago, but I'm just seeing it now. Let me go over to this and turn off this. All right, let's look at the new severe thunderstorm warning. Again, this is for damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour and quarter-sized hail. And again, this is currently moving off to the southeast. I'm loading the radar up now. New York Yankees game has been delayed. All right, thank you for the report. Joe, I've heard of it, but I don't use it. Here's a look at the severe weather, though, over here. Okay, so we have a couple of areas. So there's one near Buchanan. This might be some 60-mile-per-hour winds, maybe a little bit of small hail as well. Where any area where there might be some quarter-sized hail would probably be west of Newcastle. I'm seeing a little bit more of maybe a little bit of hail there. Right here, maybe a little bit of small hail as well. That's just northeast of Newcastle. But overall, damaging wind gusts, possibly up to 60 miles per hour will be possible at this area. Again, this is moving down to the south and east right now through areas in Virginia. So going toward Interstate 81, Buchanan again, as well as Roanoke, Daleville, Lexington, possibly. Might see that area. Again, this warning is pretty large as well, so brand new update there. Go to the beach in Virginia Beach. Oh, nice. Cool. Pensacola. Will there be a storm going through Pennsylvania? Pennsylvania's probably done for tonight. It's dark and bright here in Nashville. Yeah, I mean, there's some storms there. I think they're off to your west, though. I don't think they're coming your direction. I haven't looked there in a second, but here's a drought monitor, though. I haven't done this before. The drought monitor is kind of glitched out, it looks like. That's actually really glitched out. But here's a look at the drought monitor. Just kind of ignore the bunch of yellow shadings, but here's Texas right now. And the darker reds and reds are representing, obviously, a more significant drought. There isn't much of a drought, though, in the northern plains by any means. So that's what we're looking at right now. That's really glitched out, though, so I won't really use that. We do have a warning up at the radar site over in Green Bay, by the way. I'm going to go this real quick. This is like right over the radar site, I think. Your Green Bay. Yeah, it's moving down to the southeast. Damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour and quarter-sized hail possible here. So a new warning there near Green Bay. Unstable. I've been doing it. I've been watching weather since I was 3. Like, I've literally since I was 3, I've been watching like the Weather Channel and stuff. So that's kind of what really got me into it initially. I'll probably make a video on it at some point, but yeah. I don't know, Joe. I kind of enjoy what I'm doing right now with this software, but never know. Maybe someday. Maybe someday. We do have a warning south of Nashville. Actually, I think this is actually, it's not new, but it's actually ongoing. This is near Nolensville as well as near Waterhill for damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour and as well as $half sized hail. And the threat has been observed of $half sized hail. So we've had observed $half sized hail with this storm. And again, let's move down to the south as of right now near Interstate 24. Again, just southeast of Nashville. That's where the storm is as of right now. So a little cell right there. But overall, pretty low-end threat. But definitely something to watch. Overall, severe weather has been, I think, pretty minimal. Not minimal, but it's been at least not too crazy. We've obviously had a couple of storms earlier that were pretty crazy on my last live stream before my power went out, but definitely not as bad now. I mean, my favorite weather to forecast is usually either tornadoes or like severe weather in general or tropical weather. Those have always been my two, at least, strong suits. Winter weather, I've really never forecast that much. I can assume that I'm not going to be that bad at it, but I usually don't forecast winter weather that much. Typically because I usually always did, again, for those that are new here, I've always done North Texas weather up until probably the last couple of months, so it'll be a new experiment for sure to do other weather. I've been pretty accurate, though, with North Texas winter weather. We've had more winter weather than not recently, so definitely a little bit more winter weather recently. But yeah, overall, hurricanes and whatnot are my strong suits. That's fine, Eddie. I'm doing good, Ro. How about you? Alrighty, I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be back in about 1 minute or less. Stay tuned, I'll be right back. While I take a quick 30 to 45 second break, I'd like to remind you to hit that like button down below. It really helps our page out a lot. Also, if you have not already, make sure to hit that red subscribe button down below. It'll give you our latest forecasts and live streams here on our YouTube channel. Also, make sure to hit that little bell icon to the right and click all so you get notified on when those live streams and videos come out. And if you'd like to support our page above and beyond, click the first link in the description. It'll redirect you to a membership page. For as little as $2.99 per month, you can become a member on our YouTube channel, which includes exclusive forecasts, and as well as a chat badge in both the live streams and comment section, and some emojis to go along with it, which you can use in live streams and as well as in our comment section. I'll also give you a shout out here on stream. We'll be back in about 15 to 20 seconds. We're back. Hope everybody's doing well. Hopefully everybody took a break too. I've been sitting for literally 2 hours. All right, let me go back over to the warning count real quick. Let me make sure I update this just before I go too much further. And we're up to 24 total warnings, so we're up to 24 now. Thank you, Tom, for subscribing. I appreciate it. Didn't realize I was back on. Yeah, I posted a notification on Discord, but welcome back. You are doing well. All right. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning over here that does include, I think, Dover. Oh, this is a destructive warning for 80-mile-per-hour winds. This is actually kind of out of nowhere. So we have an 80-mile-per-hour windstorm right now near Farmington and Harrington. So destructive supercell right now heading in the eastern, going toward Milford right now in Ellendale. So again, make sure you're staying away from windows. This is a destructive supercell right now near Delaware. Over to the velocities, take a look at that. And here's the wind area. That's probably at least 60 miles per hour, but might be as high as 80. The wind is radar indicated. That bright greens are going to represent your highest wind speeds. Again, it's heading toward the radar site right now. So again, make sure you're staying away from windows. Ping pong ball sized hail also possible with this storm. Here's a look at the hail as of right now. And as of right now, it's being estimated around quarter, but definitely can't rely on it's a little bit larger. Again, destructive supercell right now going toward Milford, Slaughter Beach, Ellendale, Greenwood right now. Stay away from windows. Again, very dangerous cell heading off to the east right now. This is also very new. Kind of came out of nowhere. Do I have a favorite state? Not really. To be honest, I don't really have a favorite state. New Hampshire's cool though during the fall foliage. I can't talk. But during like the fall and whatnot, it's pretty good. New Hampshire. Thanks, Midnight. Appreciate it. Yeah, again, this is 80-mile-per-hour winds possible here with that cell. Again, I don't think we have any confirmation of this. I don't see any confirmation, but it's heading off to the east right now. Velocities again are pretty strong. We're seeing possibly up to 80 on this cell. It says 98. I think that's an overestimate, but there's definitely some high winds on this going toward Farmington right now. Again, this is in Delaware. We're seeing very high winds. Destructive supercell again. Damaging winds around 80 miles per hour is possible as this moves off to the east. And make sure you stay away from windows. Yeah, Somerset, Kentucky's seen a lot of severe weather recently, and even today, we're seeing a decent amount of severe weather right now, unfortunately. But this is probably our most dangerous cell right now. Again, this is 80-mile-per-hour winds heading toward Ellendale. Let me see if we have any view on this. See if we have any view on this. I'm not sure if we will. Let's see. And there's not a whole lot here, but we'll see. Milford maybe has something. All right, we have one from Dover. It's over in Dover. Let me go and show you guys. Like Dover right now. You kind of see the clouds in the background there. We got over in Delaware. Got some beach cams. You guys want to see the beach? Just look at the beach. So as of right now, that's a look at the beach as of right now. But obviously, again, that's going to be clouding up probably pretty quickly. Watch it pretty closely. Again, ping pong ball sized hail, damaging winds up to 80 miles per hour is going to be possible with this storm. Definitely keep an eye on it if we have any better views. That's the best views I think we have actually right now in Delaware. There's not a whole lot here for cameras. Yeah, there's like three looking out to the beach. That's it. So again, we'll keep you updated. We'll see if we got anything better than that. But again, this storm is currently producing winds up to 80 miles per hour, and again, up to ping pong ball sized hail. let me see. Yeah, we're still up to 80-mile-per-hour winds as well as ping pong ball size tail. Again, moving off to the east right now. Thank you, Silver, Zulema, as well as CT for subscribing. I appreciate it, guys. Welcome. New York City's probably done for tonight. I don't expect much there. Very limited activity, if anything. Warning just got condensed, by the way, very minimally, but it is still 80-mile-per-hour winds. And that's actually an observed threat, so we have confirmation of 80-mile-per-hour damaging winds. So this is, again, a confirmed threat of 80-mile-per-hour damaging winds as well as ping pong ball size tail. Again, tracking off to the east right now. Carol, I've said it Delaware. I've said Delaware like 7 times. Sorry if I couldn't make that clear enough, but I thought I mentioned it a few times there. Live in Northern Virginia, 8 miles from DC. Didn't have much rain last summer. Leaves just dried up. Oh, was that last summer? Oh, sorry, you're talking about somebody else, but yeah, last summer was dry in some areas. I mean, this summer it's so dry in the south right now. It's unfortunate. All right, let's go back over to the velocities. Let's take a look at the latest scans here. And highest winds right now near Farmington. It's kind of what we're looking. Again, brighter greens are representing your higher wind speeds. And latest scan showing a much weaker area of winds, which is good news. So it looks like the storm's probably going to fizzle out before it gets to the coastline. It is still a destructive supercell as of now, but I do think the overall hail and wind threat seems to be going down over the latest few scans. Yes, Ro. Yeah, basically an EFCR tornado. That's kind of what it is. Or you can consider it, if you want to, go from hurricane terms, this is basically like a category 1 force winds in a brief amount of time. I'm gonna go back a few scans. So I'm kind of curious. I don't know what happened here, because I took a quick break, but it looks like the storm really ramped up here near Denton. You got warned right here. Let's see if the velocities at the same time. Yeah, the velocities were really high at that given time. They were actually 80 to almost 90 miles per hour. And again, this is an observed threat of wind. So this is, again, a destructive supercell in Delaware. So very interesting storm overall, to say the least. But overall, it looks like it's weakened the last few scans. That might have actually been a microburst, to be honest. It might have been a quick microburst there. Midnight, not as of now. I don't expect any tornado threats really for the next few days. There might be something maybe this weekend, but I don't think we'll see much. I haven't really looked at the computer models too long term, but I don't see anything notable at this point that would be that concerning, in at least the near future. We might see something next week, but I do think, again, I'm not going to be live probably tomorrow or on Thursday. I'm going to take a little bit of a break, but yeah, overall, I think the severe threats are going to be going, at least there should be lower for the next couple of days. There might be something in the northern or central plains, possibly going to maybe this weekend, but I don't think there's going to be anything beyond maybe just marginal storms, it looks like. That's at least what the storm director center is basically saying. There might be some marginally severe gusts, maybe in the mid, or at least in the northern plains, possibly the Midwest, like the northern Rockies even. So kind of off to the west, I would think, but Monday and Tuesday, it looks like isolated severe weather threat would be possible. So it looks like actually over the next week after today, severe weather threat should be a bit lower for about a week or so, at least. So that might be good. Well, again, we'll keep you updated if anything does change. We're really primarily focused right now on that one little system off Louisiana after today. No problem, Death Star. Bots are in every stream, guys. They're in every single stream. I was literally watching a live stream on YouTube last night, not weather related, and yeah, it was there too. Happens everywhere, unfortunately. I'll keep an update. I'm gonna wait and see what we got on that damaging wind report, by the way, because again, this is an observed threat, so I'm assuming we'll get a report on this pretty shortly. All right, let me go over to the. Look if we have anything new from this camera here. No, we don't. Let me go over to see if we have any reports on Twitter of this. If we do, take a look. damaging winds still up to 80 miles per hour from the latest update, but I think the winds have gone down a little bit. Still looking. Yeah, as of right now, I'm not seeing anything in terms of the winds. I'm not sure where this exact location of the winds was. Maybe it might have been Denton. From what we saw on the radar scans before, again, this morning's still going for 80 mile per hour winds and ping pong ball size, still dangerous storm, but let's see if Denton had that report. Yeah, it was probably a microburst. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah, microburst. It's probably, I'm almost certain that was a microburst that we saw on radar there. Yeah, so yeah, that's basically what we saw was a microburst on that cell. That's why, again, that's 80 mile per hour wind still. Thank you, Dragon, for sending that photo, by the way, on Twitter. All right, thank you, Logan, for subscribing. Let's see. Hey, JD, how you doing? Welcome back. This is currently in Delaware. That's where we're at as of right now. We have a special weather statement back up in Connecticut as well. Potentially some penny-sized hail. New little threat coming in there. Still a lot of warnings ongoing in Tennessee. We got a new warning over in Arkansas. We also got one over in Fort Morgan in Colorado. That's what we got going as of right now. Again, this is our cell right now, a destructive cell right now. Again, just off to the north of Seaford. And this storm is currently weakening, I think, but it might still be producing some high winds. So stay away from windows with this cell. Again, it was most likely a microburst that happened with the cell. Again, 80 mile per hour winds is nothing to be messing with. Our latest date on this warning, the new warning just came out for 60 mile per hour winds and quarter-sized hail. That's for Milford, Ellendale, Slaughter Beach, Milton, and as well as areas near Dewey Beach. Yeah, microbursts are no joke. Strong downburst winds like that can cause a significant amount of damage. This is not in Green Bay. No, there's a storm up in Green Bay, though. It's quarter-sized hail, damaging winds around 60 right now. Got up there as of right now. All right, we're down to 21 warnings. Is there a way to predict microbursts? Not really, honestly. There isn't much of a way to predict them. They do, I mean, with severe weather overall, they are typically, a possibility in almost any severe weather event when we have strong, when we have downburst wind potential. In terms of like today, we have obviously that potential. There is typically, they sometimes mention it in the outlooks, but they don't always mention it. But there's always a possibility, but they are not really forecastable up until they actually happen. It's very hard to predict because they happen so quick. Tornadoes are a little bit easier to predict because you can kind of watch the velocities and you'll eventually see it starts to strengthen over time. But in comparison to downburst winds, they just happen, within only a couple of minutes. They go from the top of the atmosphere down to the bottom of the atmosphere, basically. From top of the clouds all the way down to the bottom, basically. That's kind of what happens. They're very quick. And they only last, a few minutes. Like this, for example, the winds only lasted maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes. So there's not much warning usually. But they usually do have severe thunderstorm warnings on them prior. But microbursts can definitely happen at any time. Thanks, Aaron. I appreciate it. Have a great night. That's what we're looking at as of right now. So the new warning just got issued on this. The storm will be probably weakening. House fire in Connecticut. I would imagine. There was definitely probably a decent amount of lightning up there as well. Oh yeah, we actually have that. So house fire on Juniper Drive due to a lightning strike. Fire in attic and walls of the home. So that was over in Windsor Locks. So that was from that storm that went through the area there. We also had a report of trees down on wires. That was from this severe thunderstorm warning that's ongoing. So we had a lot of severe weather so far. And obviously there's a lot more from where that came from down here over near Fredericksburg now into Virginia. Still have that severe weather ongoing right now. All right. All right, so that is basically here. So yeah, that's basically what we got for tonight. I'm actually getting into that live stream a little bit early. There's basically all the severe weather for the most part. It's been winding down over the next little while. Quarter-sized hail up in Green Bay. That's the threat. But I do appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. I really do appreciate everybody staying tuned. Again, we had a live stream earlier, and we came back for a little bit because there was a tornado warning and whatnot. But that's going to do it for this live stream. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Again, if you're new here, hit the subscribe button down below. We do live streams again like this all of the time. So if you hit the subscribe button down below, you will not miss a thing. We are closing in close to 11,000 subscribers. So if you hit the subscribe button, again, I would really appreciate it. Make sure to like the live stream if you did enjoy this live stream as well. I do appreciate each and every one of you. Again, I'm going to be taking a 2-day break. I might be going live again maybe Friday, but again, it's going to be really up to what happens in terms of severe weather. Unless there's something major either tomorrow or the following day, but otherwise, no live streams. We'll have videos though as normal. We'll be tracking that little tropical area right off the Gulf Coast. More information again on that on our latest video. Make sure to check that out. And I really do appreciate everybody tuning in. Again, make sure to join our Discord server. I'll leave that in the chat, and that'll be posted by Nightbot. All right, have a great rest of your night, guys, and we'll see you again soon.